everybody. Welcome to episode 127 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. My name's Dave McRae, coming to you live from the VoiceMann Studios in Toronto, Canada. He's Tony Michael in Atlanta, Georgia. It is Tuesday, October the 12th, 2021, 6:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tonight, in the big lead up to Halloween Kills, Tony and I are watching Halloween 2018, not to be confused with Halloween, and that's not to be confused with the other Halloween. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live! We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Are you excited? Are you ready? Halloween Kills releases this Friday, October the 15th. Are you excited about it? Are you ready? You've been waiting. The time is nearly here. Why not watch Halloween 2018? Tony.
I am ready.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
Are you schnizzling the
zizzle? You know, this has been a long year to really keep myself in the dark with this movie, and now I'm on like its doorstep. It's been hard. It's been really hard to just not go and say, fuck it, let me go watch the trailer.
Right.
You know, I was like, no, I'm like, you're a week away. Just you're 3 days away. You're
3 days away.
Just fucking wait. You
Dude,
know what I mean?
If
like,
you haven't watched the trailer.
I keep going back to the teaser. I keep going back and watching the fucking teaser. And
right.
Fuck. But yeah, I mean, I haven't watched videos. I don't, other than the only thing, like I said, I watched that Return to Haddonfield thing with the interviews.
Yeah,
they
the featurette,
with the cast returning.
Yeah.
And so I'm aware that, you know, the Myers house is in there. I'm aware of the flashback stuff. And I think we kind of knew shit like this was going down anyways. Like even when this film came out, like I would have been really shocked that we would not have seen the Myers house in this trilogy run. That would have been like, really? Like, okay.
Right.
So, I mean, things like that I wasn't spoiled by. The flashback sequence is still got me hyped. It really has me hyped. I was talking with Devin about this the other day because we were looking at that guy and I was like, man, like, I mean, I like James Jude Courtney. He's done a really good job taking on the role of Michael. But I'm very curious to see this guy in action that they picked to play Michael in 78. Because I'm thinking like, damn, could they have just used this dude to play Michael when he's older? Because he's got the same physique, same height, same body build. You know, like, I mean, like I said, I take nothing away from James Jude. I love what he's done with the character. It's just, I still can't get away from that height difference between him and Nick Castle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. I mean, listen, it's not too long away now. And, I don't want to say anything yet, but I'm not going to say anything yet. But we're not too long away now. Halloween Kills releasing, so we are watching Halloween. Like it's been 2018. It does. Well, it does. And you know what? Like I said, I have a bit of a liking to watch the world burn, and you know, inside me. And I got to say, if they had said that Halloween was delayed another year, I'd be like. Because I would just love watching everybody going, no, no. It's like that meme when Donald Trump won, you know, and it's like, you know, the girl on her knees, she's going, no. Yeah. That's what it would be. And I'd be like, but Dave, you're a Halloween fan. I am, but I think it's funny, you know.
The timing of this actually works because we in the horror community, we're getting spoiled right now here on a 3-4 month run between Michael coming back to the big screen. We got Ghostface, you know, coming around the corner. And Dave and I, by the way, we are going to talk about the Scream trailer after the film. So if anyone's going to ask us questions on that, kind of hold off until the end, and Dave and I will talk about it. I'm anxious to talk about it.
Yeah, it'll be. Yeah.
My girl is back.
I watched it twice. I have thoughts on it.
I watched it like 10 times.
You watched it 10 times. No. You didn't.
You didn't slow it down when Nev turned her head.
I was going to say, you didn't watch the trailer 10 times.
I went on super slow motion.
You didn't watch the trailer 10 times. You just watched that moment 10 times. And you kept going, rolling it back and forth, rolling it back and back.
When Nev answers the phone, I'm like, slow motion. I was playing Dreamweaver in the background.
Dreamweaver.
My girl is back.
There it is. So, folks, we are paused. I'm watching it off Netflix. We are paused because I don't know if it's on Netflix in the States, but it's here in Canada. And I am paused about 3 or 4 seconds in. The Universal logo hasn't come up yet. You know, you just see kind of the top of the earth, and we're kind of getting there. So that is where we are paused. And this is Halloween 2018. I was very fortunate enough to have seen this at the world premiere in Toronto, here in Toronto at TIFF, the Toronto International Film Festival, with Bruce on September the 8th, 2018. And if you want to check that out, there is a video on my channel, just YouTube, Dave McRae, Halloween world premiere. It'll come up. It's about a 20-minute video. And Bruce and I, you go through our day. We start in the morning. We go into downtown. We go to Dundas Square. We get something to eat. We walk along and, to build up the hype for that night. And then we head over to the Winter Garden Theater, which is where it was taking place, and you see the red carpet and Jamie Lee Curtis and all that kind of stuff. And so if you want to know what the world premiere was like of Halloween 2018, make sure you check out that video, because it might be one of the only few of the videos like that online. Although I stand to be corrected. Maybe there are others. Certainly in our space, because not everybody lives in Toronto. So yeah, check it out if you find that interesting. So are we ready to do this? Halloween 2018. Are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, he's ready. I don't know who that guy was, but he's ready. Here we go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ah, yes. I remember when I was sitting in the theater watching this movie, and I started to hear what is playing right now, this Carpenter score. Although we do have to say it's not just Carpenter, it's his son and his godson, but just, that score, that signature sound right here. When I was starting to hear this.
Today.
Yep. When I was hearing this, I was like, okay, so far so good.
Soundtrack is really good. I got Kills. I ordered it. I don't know when I'm going to get it. I know they're going to start shipping out soon. Hopefully I'll get it within the next week or so.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I like it. Definitely. What do we got here? MagaCat says, I want a NECA Sammy Kerr figure. Sammy Kerr figure? Is that from Halloween 5? I don't know who that is. Michael King says, Dave is a mere civilian this time around. I like it. Oh, don't speak too soon there, Michael. Anyway, Jim Dorsey says, I was excited when I saw 2018 for the first time, but it gets worse with repeat viewings. It has not held up for me at all. I'm sure Kills will be better. Yeah, we'll see. We shall see. This is a movie that, again, let me say this. I don't hate this movie. I'm not one of those people that throws around the word hate like how a lot of people in the world of fandom do, right? I've said this 1,000 times. We live in a world now where, something's either a 10 out of 10 or it's shit. If I say a movie is a 7 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10, which is a terrific score, somebody would look at you, and be like, what's wrong? How come you fucking hated it? What do you mean I fucking hated it? I gave it an 8 out of 10. It's fucking great. I loved it. So
not good enough.
Yeah, it's just fucking weird. So keeping that in mind, look, do I have issues with it? Sure. It's more about tone and sort of style in terms of that character and that atmosphere, continuity, not bringing. But when you place this up against the rest of the series, it's absolutely probably it's in the box of the better Halloween sequels. It's better than 5. It's better than 6. It's better than H2O in my opinion. It's better than Resurrection, right? You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's better than quite a few of the Halloween films. I would probably place it, for me, if I was ranking the Myers films only, not including part 3, I would probably, it switches between 4 and this film for me. But 4 might come out on top just because of the nostalgia. But certainly it's a competently made film. It looks good. I appreciate what they were trying to do, bringing it back to a more grounded, serious kind of, more serious kind of mode. I appreciate that. But I don't think it is I think it's a good movie in terms of it being a modern day slasher, but I don't think it's a very good Halloween movie. I think there's some things that they just needed a little more of. But then again, I've only watched this movie 3 times in my life. So, this is the 4th time I'm watching it. And to be fair, this is the 4th time, but 2 out of those 4 I've been on here on the channel. So I'm like half paying attention. I'm hearing it, I'm seeing it, but I'm not really watching it. I'm doing the show. You know what I mean? So, but I don't think it's a bad movie. I mean, it's not Halloween 5. It's not Resurrection. There were just some Halloween-y things I think should have been there.
Resurrection's a classic.
It's great. We're here at the scene, of course, with Dr. Sartain. And you know what? I have a like-hate relationship with Sartain.
Yeah, it's like 6th on my list. If I were putting, I've moved it up above Rob Zombie's first Halloween, because I actually watched this on, when did we watch it? We watched it Sunday night. I think we watched it on Sunday night, because I wanted to refresh my mind on it, because I hadn't watched it in such a long time.
Sure.
I wanted to just, I wanted my thoughts to be fresh on the film and the scenes and whatnot. And I agree with what you're saying. I think the attempt of what they were doing with this film, and I said this last week, what I'm overall hoping is, I'm really hoping to enjoy Halloween Kills, which will make me appreciate the
this
2018 film even more.
Yeah, sometimes
leading up to the finale.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's what makes Halloween 2 and 4 so good, is because of how they're connected continuity wise before the shit show that happens after 4.
Yeah.
Everything with those 3 films is like butter, regardless if you like Jamie Lee Curtis's character being off screen killed. I mean, the bottom line is she didn't want to come back. So what the fuck are they going to do?
Yeah, I understand.
So it's not really, you can't blame the writers of 4 and how they approached it. I mean, if she did it, it would have been great. It would have been awesome, but she didn't. And I understand people's gripes about the shoulder pads and the mask, although the mask just keeps growing on me. I don't know what it is.
4, well, it gets
that 4 mask is just like, it's so bad it's good. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so pasty white, but I'm just like, okay, like whatever.
But I just wanted to say, this scene here with Aaron and the say something, and he's talking to Myers. I mean, like, it's a genuinely tense moment, and I appreciate the symbolism here.
Yeah, it is.
I appreciate
leading into the score.
Sure, the Masonic floor, which is like, the checkboard or the chessboard, and how, you got Michael, they're like chess pieces, and everybody else are like pawns. And like, I like the layers there and the symbolism, whether that's intentional or not, I don't know, or just a happy accident, Bob Ross. But I appreciate this. Now, again, I mean, I'm nitpicking when I say this. It's not like they show Myers' face, really. I mean, they kind of do, but they kind of don't. And again, I've had a lot of people say, and this is where people lack nuance. I've had people say, but they showed his face at the end of the first movie. Yeah, but that's not yes, you are right. And yes, they showed Myers during the daytime in the original Halloween as well. But this is where nuance comes in. You never saw Myers close up during the day. He was always at a distance, always separated emotionally from the audience and from the characters, right? He was always kind of over there, behind the bush, behind the laundry sheets, behind the car. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until nighttime when he picks up that phone and he lifts his head into frame that we're seeing him with a close-up. And that's because he's finally arrived, right? The storm is coming. I've always said that he's that storm on the horizon. You see the dark clouds rolling on in, and so it's effective that way. It's not black and white, and people like to black and white a lot. People want to know why I preface so much shit on this channel. It's for that reason, because for whatever reason, there is just no nuance and context anymore, and people take things so literally that they can't kind of see what I'm trying to say. Of course you saw his face at the end of the first movie, but think of everything that surrounds it. Think of the lighting. Think of the intention. Is it motivated? Is there a good enough reason for us to see it? What do we really see? And we also have to remember too that that was supposed to be a one and done film. There was never going to be another one. So you can't really, it's not like they knew they were going to continue on and they knew they were going to continue to keep him ambiguous, but they showed his face anyway. Well, then it might be like, well, why are we showing his face now when we're going to try and keep him ambiguous, later on? They didn't know that they were going to do that. So it's very hard when you're talking about Halloween to talk about the original and the rest of the series. We sometimes forget that what you see in the first movie, although they've done a good job at making it seem like it was always supposed to go on, it never was. But anyway, I digress. We're at the opening credits here.
Yeah. I love obviously the reversal of the old OG pumpkin, which I've got.
Yeah, that was a cool effect. That was a cool effect. It was a good opening. I mean, at this point, when I was sitting at the world premiere watching this movie, I was in. I was hooked. I was sold. I was like, okay.
You know what it would have been butter though? If they had just added in the kids singing that little Halloween melody. You know, like they did in the first, was it the first film?
Yes.
Yeah, it was the first film.
Black cats and goblins and broomsticks and ghosts.
Yeah, thank you. That little whatever nursery rhyme or whatever it is. That would have been a nice little touch.
Yeah. That was sung by Prince.
I will say the one score I'm hoping, even if I can get like a hint of it or even a few bars of it, is I want to hear Laurie's theme. I'd love to hear Carpenter do an updated version of Laurie's theme. Like he did with the Shaped Stock and obviously the main title theme. I have listened to the sound because the soundtrack leaked about a month ago, and I did get my hands on it. You have it as well? No, I haven't. Oh, you haven't? Yeah. No, I got my hands on it and I listened to the whole thing. It's a good soundtrack. I think people will like it. It's more of the same kind of thing, you know. I can't remember. I think Laurie's theme is in there. I think it is, cool. But I can't. That's why I thought that was the only thing missing from this. Like, this would have been a perfect. I think it is. You know, but it might. Sorry, dude. I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry. No, I was just going to say, this is a perfect point where you could have had even the melody of Laurie's theme playing softly in the background. Yes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. But don't quote me on that, because Laurie spends a lot of her time, most of her time in the hospital in part 2. So I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I thought I did, but I'm not sure. Anyway, we're here at the scene where Aaron and Dana are wanting to spend $3,000 to go and speak to Laurie Strode. And like I said, up to this point. Isn't that the chick you know? Like, personally? Aren't you friends with her? Dana? Rian Reese? No. I thought you were friends with one of the... No, Marion Singh. Marion Singh, who plays the neighbor who gets the knife through her neck. Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right. I thought it was... She's in your area. She's... No, I got it wrong. Marion... Liz, I was like, yeah, Dave knows her. They're like best friends. No. I did meet... Rian was at the... That's her name, by the way, Rian Reese, the one who plays Dana. She was at the 40th anniversary convention, and she was a sweetheart. She was very nice, and there's a tiny little interview I have on my channel with her, so you can check that out. But again, up to this point, like I'm digging the grounded, sort of less campy feel. Like this feels like almost like a drama to this point. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm watching more of a sophisticated kind of psychological thriller, like in terms of the tone and the feel of the movie, the feel of the movie. And I like that. And I liked it up to this point, and I like this scene. I'm still having a hard time processing Laurie Strode as a fucking Linda Hamilton. It's tough for a lot of people because Terminator. Yeah, it's just because I like Laurie Strode being a badass. Don't get me wrong. I like the H2O version of it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Where she confronts her monster face to face, not through using guns, but using the ambulance driver. You know, fuck that shit. I know. As far as I'm concerned, when it comes to like the choose your adventure, H1, H2, H2O, end. Or H1, H2, H4, end. Or that's it for me. H1, H2, end. Or that too. Or after that, there's no more. No. Now we got to get to the 2018. Or H1, end. Or H1, end. Yeah, pretty much. I really don't. I mean, we watched 5 together, and that'll probably be the last time I watch 5 for. Ever, unless 5 is dreadful. I don't 5 is a dreadful film. 6 I don't watch. You know, I mean, those are movies I don't watch. I watch H2O. Yeah. I watch 2. Obviously, I love Halloween. Halloween 2 has just grown on me so much over the years. I have such a just the way that film was. Halloween H2O? No, 2, the 81. Oh, 81. Halloween 2. Yeah, that movie is just grown on me so. Like, I liked it as a kid. But it wasn't like my go-to. My go-to was 4. I just, you know, the way I watch Halloween 2 now as an adult is how I used to watch Halloween 4. Right, I do watch Halloween 4, but like we're going to watch Halloween. We're going to revisit Halloween 4 this month. Spoiler, the whole month is dedicated to Michael because of the release of the movie, folks. So we're basically going to do a lot of Halloween movies for the next few weeks. So soak it in as much as possible. But I only watch Halloween 4 this time of year, you know what I mean? But I watched Halloween 2 in January with you. I watched when we did the show. I watched it again like in April, I think it was. That's such a good sequel and such a good cap off to what should have ended it, obviously.
But this whole scene, I thought Jamie Lee Curtis. I remember when I first saw this movie and I walked out, and it's even in my review of this movie on my channel. Laurie Strode, and to be fair, I mean, this is her story. I mean, this movie is very Laurie Strode centric. It is about, you know, the trauma that she's faced, and she does a good job. I believe her. I think she does a really good job at the material that she was given. It's her story. The next movie,
I mean, I guess I would have liked. I wouldn't have mind, I should say.
No, here comes peanut butter on my penis.
Oh, yeah, I know, whatever.
If Darren Sands is watching right now, he's probably going, I don't get it. What's it about? I'll explain it in a minute again for the people.
If they had kept Laurie's character similar to the H2O character, still dealing with post-traumatic stress, but not relying on alcohol to be her suppressant.
Right.
Maybe something else to that effect, but just kind of... Not that I'm against guns. I mean, I shoot guns. I'm totally for the Second Amendment. Yeah. It's just seeing Laurie like that. I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that she can't, but I just,
here it comes.
Like I said, hang on. I'll wait.
Up in the face.
Ray.
That was it. Oh, mother.
Yeah, peanut butter on my dick.
Man.
Thank you, Danny McRae.
Peanut butter on my penis.
Ew, Dad. Instant karma.
So before
I actually will say this, watching this the other night, I'm not. I know I was very anti Judy Greer playing the daughter. I'm not so much anymore. Does that make sense?
Sure. So yeah, no, it does. In regards to the peanut butter on my penis line, I'm not offended by him saying the word penis. I'm not. It doesn't bother me. I think what it is that I didn't believe the line, and I think it's that, like, very rarely. At least, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, okay? But very rarely do people say the word penis. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a very sort of, it's almost like, because that is what it actually is called. But, you know, growing up, and I know he's the dad, okay? I get all that. I'm going to get to that. But growing up, it's like guys say, oh, fuck, man, you hit me in the balls. Or, oh, my dick hurts. You know what I mean? Like, nobody says, oh, my penis. You know, like, it's very sort of, I don't know. It's not something that you say, generally speaking. The way that the actor delivers the line, it feels strange because it feels he goes, oh, fuck, or he says something like, I got peanut butter on my penis. You know, he says it kind of like that, and it feels sort of like, inauthentic. It feels like if he had just been like, oh, I got peanut butter on my penis.
Well,
it almost would have read better to me if he had just said it.
This person in the chat room said it best. It's like they were trying to force a joke that just didn't really need to be said. Yeah, it does feel that way. I think it's the way it feels like a throwaway line. And the fact that he throws it away, he goes, oh, I got peanut butter on my penis. If you listen to the difference, okay? If Ray had said, oh, I got peanut butter on my penis, you know, or, oh, damn it, I got peanut butter on my penis. Hang on a second. If he had said it like that, it may have been funny, but he owns it. You know what I mean? The way he goes, oh, I got peanut butter on my penis. It sounds a little like we're supposed to clue into the penis part. Like that is supposed to be funny because he's throwing the line away. Like he's kind of saying it under his, you know, breath, like he, you know, and it just was like, this is not necessary. Just say, oh, I got peanut butter on myself, or I got peanut butter on my crotch. You know, I'm not offended by, I can't speak for, you know, for everybody. It was not offensive. People in the theater laughed, 100%. They laughed. I just was like, oh, that feels like it feels inauthentic. I didn't believe it. It felt like we need some humor. We don't have any yet. So let's write this in here and have Ray say, oh, I got peanut butter on my penis. You know, and it's just kind of like, I don't know. It just seems a little silly. It just seems a little silly because I don't know, when guys talk or whatever, I don't know. He doesn't say penis. You know, we just say dick, balls. You know, I don't know. It just seemed kind of weird. But that's how I feel about it anyway. And it just felt like, is this the first signs to come? Like, are we going to get a lot of, oh shit, I got peanut butter on my penis? You know, or so it just feels like, you know, I don't know. Anyway, that's how I feel about it. But, did it bother you? Like, not bother you, but when that line happened for you, Tony, did you kind of feel the same way? Like, oh, that felt kind of cheesy? Like cheesy. Like not, like it just felt kind of lame. Like,
Did it feel
just
that
a
way?
forced line. That's all. I mean, I didn't really think about it so much. Like it's just like,
but a forced line, right?
It's a forced line, and I just kind of move on with the scene, and it's like whatever.
Right.
Like I don't hate. The issues that I have with this movie isn't the line. It's like I just feel like it's a Danny McBride
but
forced joke, and I get it because that's Danny McBride's sense of humor, it's
right,
dick jokes, but
but you recognize that it felt inauthentic.
Well, there's a time and a place for dick jokes, but
there's a time and a place for penis jokes.
It really, really is. But no, what I was starting to say about
people laughed at this though. Sorry, when you look out the window and you see Laurie out the window, people laughed at that.
Really?
Yeah, they were like, guys, because it looked kind of funny, I guess. Anyway, I'm sorry, dude. Go on.
I'm so glad I'm going to be watching this movie at home. I think I'm probably, that's probably one big factor to why I'm going to enjoy Halloween Kills. But no, what I was saying is, in rewatching this the other night and talking about it with, well, we won't get into that right now. But anyways, I was like, like really looking at Judy Greer just differently. I don't know what it was, but I was just like, the sentiment will always be there for Danielle Harris for me, because again, I've shared that story a million times. Halloween 4 was the first Halloween movie I ever saw. I was 10 years old, same age as Danielle. And yeah, it's like your first celebrity crush and, whatnot. But when I look at it and I look at 1978 and I look at Judy Greer, I believe that Laurie Strode and Judy Greer could be daughters. And I look at Andy Matichak and I'm like, yeah, I believe that they could all be related. Right. Looking at Andy Matichak here talking to Jamie Lee
Well, it's the
Curtis,
fair skin, the lighter hair.
You see young Jamie Lee. You know what I mean? You see a little bit of that. So like from that perspective, I was just like, huh. Like I did, you know what I mean? It was like things like, because like I don't want to hate the movie. So I started looking at it from a totally different perspective of like, yeah, they really, because when you look at Danielle Harris, I mean, she doesn't even look like, oh God, who was the guy that played Jimmy in H2?
Oh, Lance Guest.
Lance, yeah. Like you look at it, we're supposed to be that believe that that's her father and Laurie's her mother.
I don't know. Are we though? Are we supposed to believe that
was the case?
Jimmy and Laurie? I don't know. I don't know if it was ever said.
Was it ever? Was that never defined?
I don't think so.
I just always assumed. I
don't think so. I mean, maybe we don't know. I don't think we know what her father looked like.
If it's not, then that's different. Then yeah, maybe her dad did have dark hair because here you got Laurie who's kind of got dirty blonde hair, and Danielle Harris has got jet black hair.
This is a great track.
Oh, the song that's being
the song that's playing right now. Of course, you're also hearing Dr. Loomis, and he really does sound. Well, he sounds pretty close to Loomis. I believe that's Loomis.
For myself, that his vitals no longer function and immediately incinerate the body.
He sounds a little younger, maybe, than what Loomis needed to sound like, but he still sounds like Loomis. I believe that it's him. I believe that it's him.
See, this would have been a good moment to play Laurie's
theme,
one of my favorite
but more
shots. Of an epic type theme.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not like the casual, what you hear in the 1978 slow pace theme to Laurie's theme.
Yeah.
But something a little bit more dramatic. That would have been good to play juxtaposed with Laurie sitting in her car, holding the gun, and then eventually you'll see the shape kind of come into frame, in the background.
Well, in this shot coming up here when she screams and you see the shape out the window, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that image, you see it very briefly, but I think that image out the driver's side window when Laurie begins to scream and you see the shape kind of right there, I think that's Ryan Turek, if I'm not mistaken, one of the producers on the film. I think that's who that is. The chat room can let me know if you do, if you've also heard that. I believe that's who that is. It's not James Jude Courtney. It's somebody else. Because it's just a shape, right? It's just a shape, a figure. I think that's who it is. Yeah, right there. I think that's who it was. I think. But in the dining room.
But
setting,
even like with Judy Greer's performance and rewatching it again, it's not bad. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a big Judy Greer fan.
Right.
And that's not a knock at her. She's just her style of acting. Just, I don't get into it, as her as an actress. But then in watching this, I can sign up for it. I can see that tension that she has with her mom. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, she's very anti-gun. You know, she wants to believe the world is a good place. It's not a dangerous place when it
Right.
really is a dangerous place. You know what I mean? There
Yeah.
are bad people out there, and you know, Judy's shutting herself off into this
Mm.
bubble of like, or Karen, I'm sorry, the character is shutting herself off into this bubble.
And
she
she's
believes that
suppressed a lot of things too.
She's
like there's
suppressing it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
she
I'm
had-
like,
yeah.
in rewatching this the other night, I was like, yeah, like,
Because you see,
yeah,
what's actually
okay,
happening
yeah.
here is that Karen is coming across as sort of a, you know, goody two shoes, sweet,
Naive-ish.
naive,
Yeah.
completely naive. Mom, the world is full of love and love
Exactly,
and like
exactly.
like almost to the point where it's like I remember when I saw that line or I heard that line when I first saw the movie and I was like, ooh, that's cringy. It came off as really
is.
cringy. It's like, I didn't believe her. It just felt like a weird line. Like, I don't know, like she was line reading or something. But having said that, when you see the transformation, when she has her moment where she's like, gotcha, and you know, we can have a debate whether that was authentic or whether it felt real or it was a good moment. But the point is that from that moment on, and clearly in Halloween Kills, from what we've seen from the marketing material, Kara, that's Halloween 6. Karen Strode, or Karen, not Strode, Karen, what's her face? Do we know what her last name here is in the movie? Anyway, she's much more badass.
Her
yeah,
married
yeah,
last
married
name?
name. I
don't-
forget
I don't
what it
know.
is. But anyway, she's much more badass, right? So she's it's finally come out. Like this event that they're going through, the horrific sort of journey that has begun here has brought the suppression, brought the badass sort of strong, you know, that she's suppressed to the surface because she needs to survive and she needs to fucking protect her family and, you know, whatever it is. I mean, she's got that in her, but of course she's suppressed it for a variety of reasons. I mean, she didn't want to, because she lived very much in the shadow of her mother probably her whole life. I mean, we kind of, and not because of this, we didn't think of this. This is just, these kinds of stories tend to be written this way when you are dealing with different, generations. I mean, we took a similar approach to It's Me, Billy, when we were thinking about who Jess Bradford is now, and how her own daughter, who she had, would be living in the shadow of Jess Bradford. You know, and how that would affect her. And of course, we know from the film it affected her greatly. I mean, she also had a kid, but she turned to alcohol and she was going through a hard time. And, you know, so there's a lot of that I mean, that's real life shit, you know, and it's a common theme in movies in terms of generational sort of stuff, but it's a common theme in life in this kind of situation too. I will say this moment here where she's sort of describing what she was like as a kid and things like that and what she went through, I still to this day have trouble believing this performance. It feels very wooden.
From the kid?
No, from
That's
her.
playing her?
From
Okay.
her. She's talking us through it, and it's just the way, it's like she's reading off a teleprompter. It feels very wooden and strange to me. I've always
goes
felt
back
that.
to the Judy Greer acting performance. It's you know,
I don't
yeah,
know her
I
well
hear
enough
what
as an
you're
actress
saying.
to know if
Yeah.
she's like that in other things.
I've
but-
seen her. I think she was in Ant-Man. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, chat room. Is that the Marvel movie I'm thinking of? She was in a Marvel movie. That I've seen her in that. I'm trying to think, what else would I have seen her in? Because it's not like I flock to the theaters to see a Judy Greer movie. You know what I mean?
No. Well, she's not a leading lady anyway, but she's usually a
What
character
movie was
actor.
that?
But
I think it was.
I mean, like, you know, she's part of an ensemble. But she's like, but there's moments in the movie where she's great and she seems completely genuine, authentic, and I believe this character. And then there's other moments where I'm like, I don't quite believe the performance. That's all. It's nothing. It's not like awful. It's not horrendous. You know, it's not like somebody took their friend off the street who has no acting experience. I mean, you know, it's, you know, there's nuance here, right, people? It's just when she was talking and she was describing what she'd been through as a kid, I just remember thinking, it feels kind of wooden a bit.
Yeah.
But anyway, it doesn't.
And I will say this kid's death is one of my favorites in this movie because I remember, you know, when I saw it, I was like, damn, they're going there with this. Like,
this is one of I agree.
We're seeing kids get killed in a horror movie because you don't see that very often. Very rarely do you see a young kid, because you got to figure what this kid the character he's playing is somewhere between what, early teens, 13, 14. Maybe?
Yeah, he's probably somewhere around there.
Somewhere in that. Rarely. It doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
So when you see Michael snap his neck, you know, even though it is a callback, a similar shot to Annie being killed minus the knife that Michael gets Annie with, it's just the framing of the shot is a callback to that.
Well, in this, this is one of the,
like, wow, like they're going there, like, oh shit.
Yeah, this is also one of the only moments in the movie for me. There's a couple of others, but this is one of the only moments, and one of the first moments of the movie where there's genuine tension, genuine suspense. Now, it's not off the chain. It's not like fucking, oh my God, you can cut the tension with a knife. I just mean that up to this point, it's been pretty linear, pretty sort of kind of straightforward, not a lot of tension. There's great mood here with the fog, you know, and the headlights casting the fog. The kid is backlit, of course, by the lights, and he's walking with his gun and shit. And I think and I love this moment where he comes up to the cop and the cop says, "Run!" It's like, holy fuck, how bad must it have been? Like, how bad as shit must have been out here that he's saying this to this kid. I'm turning this up here so our audience can hear it here.
That's right. I forgot she was in 2.5 Men. The chat room's talking about that. Judy Greer.
I love this. Here.
Wait here. I'll go get my dad.
Run!
I love it.
Dad!
I love that. Run. And it's quiet, and you just hear the elements, right? The sound design is great. You know, there's no music. It's just the ambience of the sound of the environment. And this is great. Of course, this is where he accidentally shoots Sartain. But it's great.
Man, that's a pretty close shot to the heart.
Yeah, I think it hit him in the,
a real close shot to the heart.
But this is cool.
Hit
I mean,
him,
this is
in his region.
But there's some really great suspense because you don't know where his dad went. Like, what happened to my dad? Where the fuck's my dad? You know, and then of course we get here in the back seat, and it's like this.
Love
it.
Like,
love it.
You don't see this too often in horror movies, man.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I remember thinking like, all right, we're gonna kill kids now.
And it's classy. It's classy. It's
is.
done well. You do see a bit of his fucked up eye, Myers' eye, which I don't mind. I don't mind seeing little shots of that. That I don't mind. Looks, it's good. It's good.
Sure. Unfortunately, I was just disappointed that he didn't fucking kill the baby, but whatever. When he pauses there, listen, when he pauses at that crib in the Tony Michael version in his head, Michael takes that knife and goes like this.
No, he picks up the baby, starts eating it,
and then the baby's neck.
Oh my God, the MPAA, it's it. It's over. It's over.
Oh yeah, audience would be like, what? What? Yeah. Our audience would fucking be having like convulsions on.
Now this is great too. For those of you that followed me for any length of time, you know that one of the compliments I give this movie, you know, I'm a theater of the mind guy, right? I'm all about mood, atmosphere, and suspense. This scene now here with Hawkins as well has there's great mood, great atmosphere here. There's tension. You can feel it kind of building, right? You're delaying the inevitable. You know, you're delaying some sort of, you know, it's cool, and you're just seeing the end result of stuff. Watch this cop's neck here. Watch his neck right here, how it's tilted back. Look at this. Great work by Christopher Nelson and company. This is fantastic.
Yeah, and I like Hawkins as
I do too.
Deputy. He's a deputy, right?
Yeah. But it's such a great, because it's like, I've said 1,000 times, how, like, imagine being a first responder and showing up on a scene, and this is what you see, and you think to yourself, at least I'd be thinking to myself, what the fuck are we dealing with? How bad is, like, how crazy is what we're dealing with that the end result is that? Oh my God. Like, what are we dealing with here? Like, this isn't just normal shit that you come across. This is like fucking, it's eerie. It's almost supernatural. Like, it feels like, holy fuck, did you see what, like, are we dealing with a fucking bear or like, what are we dealing with? What the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? I like that. Now, I understand that because I always felt that, you know, it's a modern day horror. I get that you have to please today's audiences. You got to show more than you did back in 78. I get that. And I always thought that that was a nice balance. You know, obviously we know Halloween Kills, that's all out the window. It's blood, guts, and gore and carnage like there's no tomorrow. But in terms of this movie, it is one of the things I appreciated about this film, and I did compliment it on, is that you did see that the kills were frightening, but it was like when they would come upon them, it was like, oh my God, like, wow, like the jaw or the neck. It was like, holy shit. It's scary. It's eerie as fuck. Imagine walking into like a woods, you know, you're walking through a woods, you know, and you come across somebody who's dead and they're dead like that. You'd be like, what the fuck are we dealing with here? Like, it's eerie. Well, it's creepy.
If it were me, I'd be looking up in the trees for stickmen figures.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. No, but my point, yes. Yeah, you'd be like, what the fuck are we dealing with here? Oh, Sheriff
This
Barker.
guy was all right.
I didn't like Sheriff Barker. I mean, I like the actor.
He was just, isn't just kind of an over-the-top cowboy sheriff.
I just didn't. You know? I just think
But
should.
I really liked Hawkins. Like the
Hawkins should have been
too.
the sheriff.
Yeah.
Hawkins should have been the sheriff.
I can see that.
But it makes sense narratively too, because if he was an officer and a deputy, or I should say,
and back in 78,
right, it makes logical sense that, well, by now he would probably be a sheriff. He's probably moved up, you know. So I think you should have just made him the sheriff. I think there's nothing wrong with Omar Dorsey, I think the actor's name here, replace Barker. I mean, he's a fine actor. I've seen him in other things, but he just seems
I just
so.
think his performance at times is a little over the top, little like,
Yeah, well, he seems so, like, I don't believe that if you were the sheriff of Haddonfield, you would be so dismissive over Hawkins' claims of Michael Myers and the bus crash and all this, you know, Michael Myers. It's like, I just don't believe that you would be like that. I think you would take it far more seriously, you know, than that. Even though you may have not have had the experience yourself, you certainly, being the sheriff of Haddonfield, would know about the past, know about the town. And, you know, so I just didn't believe, I had trouble believing that he would be so dismissive. I think that's what it was.
Resurrection.
Look at this woman.
I know it's probably not a callback to Resurrection, but the fact that the van does say Resurrection Church is just, all right.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even catch that.
That's too on the nose. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm,
but whatever.
Well, I get it. This is very, you know, I get it. It's very Halloween 4 in terms of the gas station and all that kind of stuff. And this is very H2O. Yeah.
Very H2O. I mean, I get it. I get some of the and I think that's where my looking at this movie now through the greatest hits of the franchise and scenes that we're familiar with in other movies of this franchise. As much as I didn't like it at the beginning, like I said, you know, in rewatching it switched positions in my ranking from 7th to 6th. You know, I bumped Rob Zombie's Halloween down one because I see what they're doing now. And as I said at the beginning of the stream tonight, and I said last week, what I'm really I'm hoping these next two movies, as they conclude this trilogy run with these 3 films, that it fits together nicely, that you can look at this film, even though this film has flaws in it, you can appreciate what the tone that it sets to the 2 films that preceded after this, which is Kills and Ends. Now I'm hearing murmurs, and I don't know if this is true, but I'm hearing murmurs that Ends is not going to take place on the same night anymore.
No, it's not. It's taking place a few years later.
So interesting. So we're not doing I thought it was going to be a same night thing.
Yeah,
Which I was excited for, like, okay, we're going to, like, this is cool. Like, but all right. Well, I wonder if COVID had to do with changing that.
It did, but not in a negative way. It did in the sense that it gave them more time to think about the script. So gotcha. they felt they came up with a better idea. I've always felt that. See, again, now we didn't see this guy get killed, right? We didn't see him, but now we're petting down. Yeah. We're petting down, and we see
busted open jaw.
Pet down, and I think that's on a Steadicam, right? Or is that? Yeah, that's a Steadicam probably. Anyway, we pet down and we see his jaw, and it's like, imagine coming across that and being like, what the fuck? However, I will say this, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. I would have loved to have seen this entire scene, the garage, Aaron here, the guy with the jaw broken, Dana with Michael here in the bathroom. I think of how effective this entire scene would have been if this all took place at night. And they had stopped off at this gas station. It's not like late. It's not like 2 o'clock in the morning, but it's October in the Midwest. So maybe it's like 7:30 at night and it's dark. And in October at 7:30 at night, it's dark out. So I would have loved to have seen this scene take place at night. You could have had moonlight coming in through those bathroom windows. Imagine this scene at night with the certain light and the darkness and things like that. And she's like crawling under the stalls and she comes into the moonlight and then out of the moonlight, and she's banging on it. It just would have been, in my opinion, far more effective scene. The scene's fine. There's nothing wrong with it in terms of its execution. It's frightening. It's scary. But now Aaron opens up the door. It's dark outside. Imagine this fight happening during the night.
Why did this chick not make a run for it? After Michael and him are going at it, I would have been out that fucking stall and been running.
Yeah,
I'd have been hauling ass like Forrest Gump.
Well, they needed to kill her.
But I would have been running. Most common folks would have been fucking running.
But I would have loved to have seen this.
You got an opportunity to make a break for it. You make a break for it.
Yeah. Yeah, this
what he really should have done to the chick is he should have fucking stuck her head in the toilet and gave her a swirly.
There you go. There you go.
Awesome.
A shit-filled toilet.
Exactly.
And as he brings up her head, she's got like shit all over her face and then down again. And that would have been terrible. It's a good scene. There's nothing wrong with it, but man, I can't help
in fact, could you imagine if H2O went there with their version of this and killed off the mother who was in the bathroom with the little girl?
Yeah, that would have been interesting. You see,
that would have been really interesting.
In this scene here, I like the shot. I like this shot. I like the shot through the back windshield when he puts on his face. But I'm telling you, imagine this at night. Imagine this is nighttime.
No pun.
But imagine this at nighttime, and you're looking through the windshield, the back window, and there's like a light coming down on one side of his face. Yeah, right there. Or one side of his face, there's like moonlight coming on it. Because the last time we saw him with the mask on was not during the daytime. The last time we saw him with the mask on in this new timeline was lying, on the grass when before Loomis, looked over. So it just would have been nice to kind of have that symmetry. Is that there he is, he's back, and there's just one side of his face. It's like, oh man, I just think it's a missed opportunity. That's all. It's not incorrect. There's a lot of people that love that scene the way it is, and it works absolutely. It's just a difference in creative choice. If it had been me, I probably would have written. Well, not probably. I know I would have written it that way. One's not better than the other in terms of. I mean, obviously, I think being at night is better. Obviously, or I wouldn't have said it. But sure. It's not like it doesn't work the other way. I just think that somebody who's so. Yeah, like anytime you can get the shape in darkness and utilize light and shadow and play with that, man, it's fuck. And DPs love that shit. I mean, they love to play around with that and really set that up.
That's why I'm geeking out over the couple of still images I saw from the flashback scene in that video. I was like,
good stuff.
Whoa, that's some good shit. That's Michael Myers right there.
Yeah. Because I remember when I was at the premiere and I saw him put down the trunk, I remember thinking, oh, that's a cool shot. Like, that's a neat way to do that. But I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel like, oh, there he is. That's just me. There's probably, I mean, it was a theater of 1,000 people. I'm sure there were at least 500 others that were like, there he is. I mean, everybody's different, right? You know what I mean? But for me, I was like, oh, that's cool. But I was like, oh, that would have been so cool if this was at night. That would have been awesome. Here comes Ray, Mr. Penis. Imagine, you know what? I just would have had him say the word penis in every scene that he was in. That would have been funny. Hey, what's going on, everybody? We having penis for dinner? Is this? Oh, here's where she says it.
The world's a
yes. This line. I'm going to turn this up here.
Between your stupidity and your ignorance.
Hey, Lori, this is my home, and I can take care of my own family. All right. I know jujitsu.
The bus crash.
I know jujitsu.
I know jujitsu. Yeah. See, again, another little kind of. He says it kind of.
What bus crashed?
Put down that gun.
It is kind of fun. That's
funny.
Okay. Like,
it's
I
funny.
like that over the penis line. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, I would take jujitsu over the penis line. Agreed.
I have tried to protect you and prepare you.
Hang on a sec. Here it comes.
I am trying to prepare dinner for my family. The world is not a dark and evil place. It is full of love and understanding, and I'm not letting your psychotic rants confuse me or convince me otherwise.
She doesn't believe that at all. She doesn't believe that at all. And maybe, and again, maybe that was the intention. Maybe the delivery of the line was supposed to appear inauthentic, because, you know, if I had an opportunity to talk to McBride and Green, they might say, oh, that was the idea. If you didn't believe that line, that was the point. We wanted you to feel like it didn't feel genuine. It felt like she didn't believe it herself. Because she doesn't, because she's not that kind of person. She's not that naive. And we see that change later in the movie. And I'm sure we're going to see a much different Karen Strode, for all intents and purposes. I don't know what her last name is. In the next film, obviously, a stronger, more kind of like, you know, the chains are off and she doesn't have to pretend to be this sweet little sort of housewife. Not that was because of Ray or whatever. I don't get the impression that Ray was like abusive and made her that way. I think it was her own doing, that she wanted to live she wanted to not live in her mother's shadow, and she wanted to live out of her mother's shadow and live a different life. And I think she's probably a little embarrassed by her mother, right? So yeah, maybe it is supposed to sound inauthentic, and if it is, it's then great.
The kids trick-or-treating, because, you know,
should have chopped their heads off.
And I think outside of Halloween 4, this is the most we actually see kids trick-or-treating in a Halloween movie.
You should have chopped her head off.
Well, you see a little bit at the beginning Halloween, but during the daytime. During the daytime, like, who the fuck trick-or-treats during the daytime? Like, get the fuck out of here.
For me, looking at this stuff, the light's very warm, right? Very tungsten. You know what I mean? And it's got it doesn't have that cool kind of feel to it. And these are my nitpicks. You might think they're, or my criticisms, right? You might think they're nitpicks, and that's fair. That's fair. You're allowed to think that. But it's these types of things where I'm like, oh, I wouldn't have lit it that way. I wouldn't have had that light on. I would have, and I understand as you're tracking and you're trying to pull focus, it's very different to pull focus in the dark. I mean, you know, we did it in Billy, right? There's a 2-minute tracking shot in It's Me, Billy, where we go from the bedroom down to the front door. It doesn't cut, and our first AC had to pull focus in the dark. Pulling focus in a tracking shot is not easy. It's always easier when things are brighter, because you can see what you have to have in focus and what you don't have to have in focus. I don't know if that was part of the reason. Again, it's not wrong. It totally works. This totally works. It totally works. I like the lighting here, how it's a bit darker and he's looking at the baby.
That baby.
Should have picked up the crib and threw it through the window. That's what
that would be great.
Can you imagine? He picks up the crib and throws it through the window. As he comes outside here, there's a little bit of cool light, but it's obviously coming from the veranda or the porch.
But the whole scene itself, I love, because, like I said, you know, for a movie,
the idea of the scene is great.
And,
yes,
and it's set on Halloween night. You're seeing a pack. I mean, and the stories that I've shared on this show with you at times, this is what my neighborhood looked like during Halloween. It was just packed with kids.
100%.
That's my memory of trick-or-treating, hanging out with my friends, going from house to house, lights, you know, the decorations and shit. Although it was 1990s decorations, it certainly wasn't the shit we're getting today. But still, for the time, it was fun. And you really don't get much of that in Halloween movies. Like I said, Halloween 4, there's some snippets of it. Obviously, you know, Jamie goes trick-or-treating at night, which I thought was really cool. They added that in the original Halloween. You see that during the day, which was like, oh, here comes your best friend.
My best friend. I love Marion. I wouldn't say she's my best friend. I've never met her in person.
BFF.
Yeah. But she's Marion was great in this. She was great. Marion.
I tried so hard to do a similar shot like that.
Well, and they shot this
so hard to do that.
Listen,
it's not as easy as you think.
I want to just say this, and I sincerely mean this. You know, I want to give a shout out to the filmmakers, to everybody, the director, the crew, the camera operator, the DP, because sometimes the camera operator is not. Well, I don't think Michael Simmons, who I think he was the DP on this film as well. He likely wasn't the camera operator doing this. He may have been, but usually they bring in doing shots like this they'll bring in somebody else to do it. But that being said, shout out to everybody that made this work. They shot this whole thing, that whole tracking shot that you just saw without any cuts. Here it comes. Here comes her death. Come on, Marion. She's from your neck of the woods, but she lives in Atlanta actually. It's a great death. CG, by the way, obviously. But I'll say this, like, shout out, because they shot that 11 times. They went through that whole tracking shot. I don't know if that included rehearsals or not, but they did that whole tracking shot 11 times. I don't know what take they ended up using. But again, having just shot It's Me, Billy, in our film, we had a very long tracking shot. Like I said, 2 minutes. We shot ours 8 times with a few rehearsals. It was actually the 8th take we ended up using in the film. And they're not easy. I mean, you know, you have to, the lighting all has to be set. And what I mean by that is that, you know, because you're not using, you know, you're using, what am I trying to say? Everything's got to be set up, you know, and the space has to be lit accordingly. And to track through a space like that, what they just did here from out of one house and into another is tremendous. And to pull focus through all that is great. It's not easy. And having just done it, I have a better appreciation for it than I ever have, having seen it and having watched the crew do it. And shout out to our first AC, Jacqueline DeBacco, who, you know, I always joke about this, but it's true, who pulled focus in the dark. I mean, you know, in our film, it was all, you know, a lot of it was through the dark, and she had to pull focus through that. It's amazing watching a professional crew work the technicalities of all that and to watch it come to life. It's unreal. So shout out to them because, you know, creatively, I might wanted to have seen more of this and that and this and that. But in terms of the logistics and the execution of the shot itself, it's beautifully done. It's beautifully done. It's great. Julian. What are your thoughts on Julian, Tony?
Well, Julian, I'm like, whatever. He's a kid, you know, he's a, you know, a kid being babysat by Vicky. I was talking about this the other night that I actually would have held off on killing Vicky. And the reason why is I would have had Vicky survived because you really didn't see how close the relationship was between Allison and Vicky, which clearly there was a close relationship there. I mean, if she's going to stop dancing with her dude to answer the call from her close friend, that goes to show you what type of friendship that they had. Right. I would have liked to have seen Vicky's, even if you kill her off and end. I think it would have done more justice for the character. It probably would have even made her death even that much more impactful because I do like the character of Vicky. Of all the additional characters, oh God, this music's driving me nuts. I had to turn that down really quick because it was blasting in my ears. Of all the side characters beyond the core, I do like her. Right. You know, like the dude, like her boyfriend, like I'm hoping Michael snaps his fucking head off in the next film.
Eats his neck.
Honestly, something, whatever. Like this dude here, who's like kind of the comic relief at times that
Oscar.
tries to hit on her. Yeah, that hits on her during their walk home. His death, like that's cool. But Vicky, I would have been like, you know, yeah, we're going to kill you, but you know, like we're going to hold off. And I think it would have been like that a moment, whether it wasn't kills or whether I would have probably, I would have done it in ends and I would have had a moment like, fuck, maybe where Allison sees Vicky getting killed. She couldn't get to her in time to help her or save her or some shit, whatever. And Allison now watching her close friend get killed by Michael, that would have been like, damn. In this, I feel like it's a kill. You know what I mean? It's a body count. It's, you know, it doesn't do anything to the character because honestly, other than the walking in the beginning of the film and her babysitting, her character just kind of falls short. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen it more. You know what? Like I said, you could have killed her off in kills and that would have been fine. But I just think that there was more to this character that they sort of missed the boat with.
Do you think that maybe because
he's gotta go?
Do you think that maybe because they showed how Vicky was going to die in the first trailer to Halloween 18, that also kind of spoiled the emotional attachment that may have been there for her? Because when they released that first trailer in June of 2018,
we knew how she was going to die.
We knew that she was going to die. We knew when she was going to die and how she was going to die. So as soon as the closet scene began to unfold, we're like, oh, here we go. And that was a little, not that it's the first time that horror movies, even older horror movies, have shown that happening, of course. I mean, it does happen.
I would have had like Vicky and Julian escaping. Like maybe the boyfriend shows up and he's fighting Michael, but they get out of the house. The boyfriend obviously gets it. And I would have had Vicky a part of the town coming together here, which I know is part of the premise of this new film. I just think that
maybe Vicky should have been Hawkins' granddaughter.
That would have been, or daughter. No, she would be granddaughter. Yeah, because Hawkins is the same. That's right. I was thinking for a minute, like, wait, no, granddaughter. Yeah.
Well, or daughter, and Hawkins was getting a little something in his 50s. You know what I mean?
Impossible. I mean, God, like George Clooney just had a baby, and he's like 90.
Oh,
I don't mean that literally, but
No, I know what you're saying.
I liked this character. Of all the new characters that we were introduced to with this new timeline, she was definitely one of my favorites, and I was like, damn, we got shortchanged.
Right. Yeah.
Minus the dry fucking line that she says here. I'd have been like, no, we're fucking. Like, we're not dry fucking. What are you talking about?
Again, watching this movie, like up to this point, I don't feel a real, it's not a very suspenseful movie. Do you know what I mean? I like the grounded nature of it. I like that they've gotten rid of the campiness of, the zombie films, Resurrection, H2, all that. Like, I like that we've gone back to something that feels a little more serious, but I don't really feel that there's any sort of real, like, suspense or eeriness or, like, there's moments, right? Like, there's little moments, but I don't particularly feel like the film itself feels that way. And that was one of my complaints, and that's just how it's shot.
I didn't even think
that's just how it's shot.
Michael King brought up something here: keep the Brackett and Meeker vibe, meaning sheriff daughter, deputy daughter, whatever. Yeah, I didn't even think of that tie, because Brackett, Annie, and Meeker with oh my God, what's her name in the movie?
No, I get it. Yeah, you could have done it.
Halloween 4. What was Meeker's daughter's name? Shit.
I don't know.
Oh my God!
By the book woman.
See her face.
Chat room will let you know because they're obsessed.
Fuck off, Wayne. She has one of the most iconic lines in Halloween. Fuck off, Wayne. Or Wade, whatever his name is. Wade.
Chat room's going to let you know right now. There's going to be 500 of her names.
I know. We're going to get like 500 responses.
Yeah, here it comes. Yeah. It's coming. It's coming.
Of course, we are. There it is.
Kelly Meeker. There it is. Kelly.
That daughter, the sheriff daughter connection thing, like, yeah, I could totally see Vicky being either the daughter or granddaughter of Hawkins. And that would have elevated the character even more so, in my opinion. It would have given that character more substance in her storyline. Yeah. And again, like I said, she's definitely one of my favorites. This dude, toking up the joint.
Well, he's expendable. He's just there to be killed.
You're a body. That's all you are. You're gonna die.
He's Bob.
So,
he's Bob. He's just there to be killed.
He's a good Bob. I'll give it that. He's a good Bob. Doesn't know how to sit on a motorcycle properly.
Now, I do like this. I like that he walks by the camera. The camera focuses on the laundry sheets. You may have you may interpret that as foreshadowing. No, he's not. You may.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, no, and I like that. He doesn't need to stand there, because to Halloween fans, you know exactly what that means anyway. And maybe you do try to see if he's there, but he's not there, and he doesn't need to be there. And I like that. It's just the symbol. Those laundry sheets tells you he's there. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Just seeing the laundry sheets blowing in the wind tells the audience, oh, he's there somewhere. But you don't need to see him among the laundry sheets in order to relay that message. That's cinematic language. And that's done really, really well. Really, really well. I don't need to see him among the sheets, like a callback to the 78 film, to know what they're telling me by showing us that. And that's well done. That I like. This closet scene is a missed opportunity for me. I've talked about it on my channel many times. I think she should have gone to the closet door. I think the light should already be off. She opens it to turn on the light. There he is. This whole scene takes place. I don't like the way he goes, oh shit. I think Julian needed to be more scared, like petrified scared,
Yeah, like
crying.
that slip, I was just like, no.
Yeah.
Like, no, it just seems like, all right, you're making it too easy for him. Like, no, she should have been running out the house. Would have been a nice little, again, callback to Tommy and Lindsay running out the house. It's just unfortunate, you know, that this character didn't get just a little bit more, because really she is ultimately a throwaway character. She's in two
Well, of course
scenes,
she is, yeah.
and that's it. I mean,
yeah,
or not two scenes, but you know what I mean. Like,
yep.
She's in the walking scene, and
it's just unfortunate that
babysitting.
that there wasn't more suspense built around her death. There's the head tilt there, slightly out of focus. It looks very much like Halloween 2, that mask. And look, again, there's nothing wrong with it. Like at face value, it works. It gets the point across. It's a kill, right? It's a kill. But I think there was a missed opportunity there. Instead of Julian asking her to close the closet door, he should have asked her, can you turn on the closet light? Kids like lights on, right? It's nighttime. Sure. He's afraid. Can you turn on the light? So she goes over to the closet. She opens the closet door. She goes to turn on the light, and it doesn't turn on because the bulb is burnt out. So she turns around, faces him, and says, hey, do your parents have another bulb or whatever? You know, and she's having a conversation with him. And then over her shoulder, you see his mask beginning to kind of come out of the darkness. You know what I mean? Very a la like Janet from Halloween 2, right? You know, kind of comes out.
That would have been like when Laurie's standing up in the hallway after she sees the bodies.
Right. Yeah, I would have,
you know,
because it's not just fan service. It's Michael's MO. It's what he does. He's a predator. He's like a cat, right? He stalks, he lurks. That's what he does. Like, I'm not just saying that they should do that because I'm a 40-year-old fan and I want to see that again. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's really about, this is what his character does. This is what we've established. And this is a direct sequel to the original film only. So it would make sense that that would be carried over. And I just think that was a missed opportunity there. Have it out. Have the light out. Use that as an excuse to build atmosphere and tension with the light up, because it's justified. The bulb is out. It's justified. You know what I mean? Yep. And I think that's not that you always need justification. Sometimes, I mean, even in, you know, It's Me, Billy, right? We have people walking around in the dark. You do see that in horror films a lot.
A lot of tracking shots, didn't they?
But certainly that is something you could do. And I would have liked to have seen that. I would have liked to have seen that.
Oh, here we go. The reunion.
The reunion. And this is Nick Castle. This is Nick Castle's.
The reunion.
Yep. As soon as you see him in the window and he's tilting his head, that's Nick Castle. As soon as the mirror breaks, pay close attention. Audience, pay close. I don't even know who's fucking watching along with us, but pay close attention. As soon as the mirror breaks, you're going to see Michael go from like this to suddenly being very kind of straight. That is the transition from Nick Castle to James Jude Courtney. And that was sort of like a symbolic passing of the torch. So when you see him in the window and he's looking at Laurie and he kind of tilts his head, that's Nick Castle. When Laurie shoots and the window breaks and the mirror breaks, as soon as the mirror breaks, I should say, it becomes James Jude Courtney.
Did he come back to do anything for Kills or no?
There is a cameo of Nick Castle in Kills.
But is it Nick Castle or is he playing Michael?
No. He's playing The Shape again. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I have a feeling I know what it is, but I'll reserve that until I see it. Here it is. Here it comes.
There it is.
All right.
Reunion.
She's looking over. There's Nick Castle.
And it feels so good.
That's Nick Castle. There's the head tilt. That's Nick right there. She lines it up, shoots, boom, boom. There's James Jude Courtney.
Nobody can tilt a head like Nick.
The head tilter.
I mean, really, even in that one little motion that he did there, it's like, yeah, that's Michael.
Yeah.
Like, yep.
But, Michael. You know, big shout out to JJC, man. I mean, again, my favorite is still Nick Castle. Part of that is because I
like James.
He's the OG and there's nostalgia, but he did a great job. James Jude Courtney did a great job.
Where Michael flips the knife. I never see that in the film.
Oh, yeah. No,
Remember in the trailer?
Yeah, he does when he's chasing Oscar. He does it in the movie when he's chasing Oscar.
That's what happens. Okay, I must not have been paying attention the other night when we were watching it. I was like, where's the fucking knife flip thing?
Yeah, it's when he's chasing Oscar.
So does he shoot her? Does she shoot him in the shoulder? Is that a
Yeah,
shoulder
she just
shot?
shot him in the shoulder, and he kind of, you know, took a little bit of damage there. I like that scene.
Those are some blue cop lights.
They're very blue. Yeah,
Blue.
they're not
Red and blue.
they're not red and blue. They're just blue. I don't know if I know anywhere where I've seen that.
Where it's just all blue.
Yeah. Blue and white.
Usually
kinda.
it's red and blue.
Yeah, that's what it's like here.
And this dude's just showing up with no cop light on his dashboard.
Well, he's the sheriff. He doesn't need it. He's like, I'm fucking Barker. Imagine if every time he entered a scene, he was like, I'm Sheriff Barker. Woo!
This idiot. This
He
idiot
barked?
I could have done without.
But I like Sartain. I was just going to say, I have a like-hate relation. No. I like the character of Sartain. I just didn't like what they did with him. He was wasted. They made him a buffoon and a fool. I mean, there's an outtake. There's a deleted scene where he's picking his fucking nose in the car with Hawkins. Thank goodness that didn't make it into the movie.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of what Rob Zombie decided to do with Loomis in Halloween 2. His version of Halloween 2. Just making it just like an annoying, obnoxious character that you just don't like.
But I agree. But I think that it's largely because of what they did with Sartain. I think if Sartain had remained, because it's interesting, like he's not quite Loomis. He's the opposite of Loomis in some ways. He's the antithesis in terms of his beliefs and kind of how he sees the relationship.
You're the new Loomis.
I'm sorry?
How do you like the line here? She says, you're the new Loomis.
Oh, I think, well, I mean, because from a certain perspective, she's right up to this point anyway, in terms of he's that figure that has been taking care of Myers since Loomis's retirement or death or whatever. He would be an authority on him in terms of, at least in that environment, in an institutionalized setting, he's his doctor. So I get it. And of course he's got this accent and he seems very polished and very sort of wise and knowledgeable, and he talks like this, you know, I mean, I get it. Yeah, there's a lot of parallels there. I mean, there's I get that if you were going to point to somebody in this movie who would be Loomis-ish, ish, it would be him. And I think there's a missed opportunity because I do like him. I just didn't like what they did with his character. I think it was wasted. And for a brief moment, this movie was off the rails. Like it was
especially when he fucking puts the mask on.
Yes.
I was like, what are we doing? Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, it was very strange, and it served no purpose because you didn't need Hawkins to drive, or Sartain to drive Allison to Laura. I mean, you could have just had Michael follow Allison through the woods, and then you have this great opportunity to have this great chase scene through the woods with moonlight coming down, and she's chasing him, or he's chasing her through the woods, and she's trying to get to Grandma's house, right? You know what I mean? Because Laurie lives in some weird wooded location. So, I mean, you could have just had that. I don't think you needed to justify that by having Hawkins Sartain kill Hawkins, take over the vehicle, and then try to head to Laurie's. I mean, I don't think it was necessary. I think there was a better way to do it.
Yeah, if I were as part of the consulting team for creativity, and I would have sat there in the meeting like, this is a very bad idea. Don't do this.
Yes.
You're going to piss off a lot of Halloween fans. At this point, you're doing a good job at servicing the franchise. Don't do this fucking twist.
Right.
Halloween fans were already pissed off once with the Doctor twist, with the Curse of Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Don't fucking do it again.
And this, you're bang on. And this scene here with Hawkins and Sartain, see all the things he's saying? It's very Loomis-ish, right? He's got the... and then he's and then the music starts coming. I really like that scene. As I said, there's a deleted scene in the car where Hawkins is picking his nose. And I'm like, why was that even shot? Thank God that didn't appear in the movie. It's unnecessary. It's completely unnecessary.
It's probably Danny McBride doing second unit. Of
course it was. Hey, well, it wouldn't have been second. Well, no, I don't think it would have been second unit. It would have just been like, hey, let's write it this way. Let's also have a scene where he picks his nose. He seems kind of weird. It's like, You don't need that. Like, you don't, like, keep this. If you keep this guy, because he's not trying to be Loomis, because, like I said, if you listen to what Sartain is saying, he's almost the antithesis of Loomis's beliefs, right? He wants to see Laurie, he wants to see Laurie and Michael kind of get together, and he believes that there could be more of a grounded scientific explanation and all this kind of stuff. He's kind of leaning that way. So that would have been maybe an interesting character to run with through the whole series, through kills and ends. Or maybe he gets killed and kills or something. I don't know. But to go out the way he did, especially very Friday the 13th, although kills, if you don't like Sartain's death, whoa, look out, folks. Look at her. Look how uncomfortable she is.
This was like I don't think they needed to do this.
You're fucking ugly. You're ugly. I mean, it's basically what's happening here. I mean, let's be honest. You know, I hate to say it. That's the reality. If you don't need to apologize. If he was drop dead gorgeous, I mean, in terms of the movie, obviously they've written it this way. But I mean, like, if this was happening in real life, you know, looks aren't everything. Absolutely not. Personality plays a big part. But, you know, these are kids.
Yeah. And, listen, you're never going to change the one law, and that's the laws of attraction.
There you go.
And you're never going to change that. It is what it is. It's not being dickish. It's just the reality.
Of course. This scene here is one of those moments where I think there's some genuine suspense.
Oh, yeah. When he thinks it's...
well, and you got the floodlights that are, you know, the motion sensor lights are turning on and off and whatnot. It's some good stuff.
Trespass on your yard and shit, man. I was just trying to take a shortcut with a really pretty girl.
And I like the way that he's just standing there.
I just really like
it's
her,
great.
Man, and I thought that she liked me too.
I remember when I saw this in the theater, I was like, this is good shit.
Michael's sitting there thinking like, bro, you ain't got a chance in prayer with that girl.
I think that's funny.
That's what Michael's thinking right now.
I do like that line.
Way out of your league.
I do like that line. You ever like a girl and you can't have her, whatever? I think it's like that kind of humor, kind of witty, sort of like a play on something. I like that. That's fun. I don't mind that at all. I think that works.
Michael's crush on Laurie from the original, since they're no longer related.
Right. It works.
So he can totally crush on her now because they're not related.
That's a great shot. Myers backlit there by the motion sensor lights.
Kind of silhouetted, but not
yes,
silhouetted.
It's a good shot. Yeah. Lights go out. I remember people in the audience when the lights went out at the world premiere, but it was like, oh, fuck. And he comes on there. Oh, that's a good scene. You know what I mean? In a film that is largely void of suspense or tension, and I don't say that as it's not a bad movie, guys. I just mean overall, there's not a lot of this. And that's a good moment. That's a really good moment. And of course, is the music playing now? Yeah.
Turn it down so I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this kid's death, good kill.
It's a good kill. Did you see him do this
on the piano?
Yep. And then of course the shake stocks Allison. Fucking great. Oh my god.
But it's wasted because they could have drawn it out so much longer.
I'm turning it up. I don't give a fuck. There it is. I'm turning it up. This track is
the track is great. It's one of my favorite new tracks.
Listen to this. Boom. Yes. This is a great fucking moment. This should have lasted longer. I wanted to see more. I want her to like dip into an alleyway, into somebody's backyard. She's hiding. Yeah. She's looking around corners. You see the shape, turning his head slowly with moonlight coming down upon him. And then all of a sudden he's gone and she's trying to, it should have been longer. Milk it out. Play it out. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Play it out.
Where Oscar was hanging from, was that a gate that could have been opened?
I don't know.
Or was it just a fence?
I'm not sure.
Because I was thinking if it's a gate, Michael should have just busted open that fucking gate and been like, bitch, I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
But if it's not a gate, then okay, then that makes sense why they didn't do that. But yeah, this was it was a wasted opportunity.
So unfortunate.
To give that more of a chase scene.
Yes, that would have been so great. And listen, the what we got was good, but it's like, oh man, I would have written like a whole. And again, I mean, there's a variety of reasons. It may not have worked out that way. There may have been plans to have something like that. Maybe it was in an early draft. Maybe they wanted to do it. maybe there was intention to do something like that. And for a variety of different reasons, creative, studio
Could you imagine, though,
meddling, who knows, right? That it just didn't happen.
But could you imagine, now picture this. She runs out to the road. You see that what looks to be like a blue light that's backlighting or it's side lighting a house.
Yes.
In the background. So could you imagine as she's running out, she stumbles to the ground, gets back up, and as she's getting back up, you see Michael emerge. And now she starts crossing the road. A nice little callback to Michael stalking Lori.
In part 2.
In the original.
Oh, the original, right.
From the Wallace house.
From the Wallace house. Yes, yeah.
House.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would have been a really good callback with Andy Matichak there in that scene because, in rewatching it here again, there's enough light on that house that if she were to have fallen on the grass, like stumble, and the moment she gets back up, Michael emerges. And then she's like, oh, shit. And then now the chase is on.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Yeah, I would have been all right with that. But I mean, like I've said, and I've said it since day one that I've seen this, it's a competently made film. I like the movie. I just think it's not, I wish there was more of that Halloween feel. Now, looking at the trailers for Halloween Kills, again, it's not lost on me. I'm not naive. I know that this is going to be not my kind of theater of the mind movie. It's going to be blood, guts, and gore and carnage. I know that. But in terms of the aesthetic, the way it's shot, the lens choices, the camera movement, some of the things I'm seeing, I'm like, oh, I like this better. I like the way you've lit that better. And again, I'm not talking about basting a movie in blue light. I'm just talking about the certain creative choices they've done. Like, see how he's walking here and see how orange everything looks, how very warm everything looks. I'm not seeing a lot of that in the trailers and kills. And I like that because it's the Midwest in October and that cool, I want to feel that coolness, that cool vibe, for me. That's just me. I mean, it's not wrong. It's just different. That almost didn't even look like James Jude Courtney walking there. That was kind of strange.
Now, why wouldn't you call for backup when you've got to protect the girl in the car? I'm just saying.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Again, they didn't think this scene through that you're going to put your passenger who you're trying to protect into harm's way with the guy who's trying to kill her. Yeah.
Oh, God, here it comes. Yeah. This was the moment. I know that this was the moment in the theater, Tiff, where everybody was like, oh.
This is the moment where everybody probably simultaneously was like, what the fuck?
Oh, of course. Here we go. Here it comes. And it was like, what the fuck? He's a madman.
That's right.
He's a madman.
I forget that. I totally forgot about that.
He's a fucking madman. And then he lifts up his head. With the fucking mask on. Oh, no.
So stupid.
It's coming. You can hear the blood. I need to put on the mask. I need to feel what Michael feels.
It's so hard. I want to watch the trailer, but I'm like, no, don't do it.
Don't watch the trailer, Tony.
Don't spoil it, Tony. You're so close.
Tony, don't watch the trailer. Don't watch it. You're so close. Just don't.
Yeah, because you know why? If I watch the trailer, it'll be like the moment for Seahawk fans will remember this when they should have handed the ball off to Marshawn Lynch instead of passing it. They probably would have beaten. They would have beaten the Patriots if they handed it to Lynch. Right. Yeah, if I watch it now, I would ruin it for me.
Yeah,
for what, not knowing whatever.
There it is. There it is. Oh, come on, Sartain. I've got the mask on, bitch. Look, I'm going to make this scene better. Okay, here we go. I'm going to drag this man.
And now he's dragging first of all, he's got one arm. Okay, and Michael looks like he's weighing at least 220.
Oh yeah, he's jacked. He's jacked.
You're gonna tell me Sartain with one arm is gonna fucking drag Michael?
You should
him up and put him in a car,
dude. You should see Sartain topless. He's fucking jacked. Sartain is ripped. Sartain is like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Olympia, like 70s. He's fucking jacked. I'm Sartain, and I'm gonna take a shit. That's what they should have just gone all out. They should have made the scene just absurd with the lines and the dialogue. They could have had little like Halloween 5 cop sounds. Boom, picky, boom, boom. They might as well have.
At that point, they should have done that.
And then Sartain gets creepy and he turns and he looks at her and he's like, I'm going to kill you. It's like, oh my God, what is happening in this movie?
He's turning into Dr. Clonargy. How do you pronounce it? The old black and white movie, the silent film? Clonargy.
I don't know.
I can't pronounce it. I always never had how to pronounce
it. He drove over Hawkins too. He added insult to injury.
Yeah, I would have liked, that's my only bummer with Hawkins. Again, another character like Vicky, I would have liked to have seen more of as this trilogy unfolds.
Now, this scene here with the cops, shout out to Christopher Nelson, who's playing obviously the cop on the left here. This scene, I didn't mind. Now, I just think it went on too long. I actually like the humorous exchange. I think it's subtle. I think it's nuanced. I think it's what cops like. I believe that if you're sitting there just shooting the shit with your partner, I believe this conversation. It doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel hokey. It just kind of feels like two dudes just kind of hanging out, and it's not overdone. And there's no weird. The difference
is my brownie would have had a special seasoning in it.
Right. But I like this. I just think it went on a little too long. Actually, you know what? Now having actually. Unless we cut back to them.
Actually,
this may have been okay.
I'm still fucking it up, I know. But thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's the movie. That's what kind of Sartain now reminds me of is that, you know what I mean? And it's just such an unnecessary turn. Like, man. Like,
having just watched this cop scene again, I actually think it didn't go on too long. Maybe I'm completely okay with that scene now. Yeah, I think it's fine. And I don't feel like it's a tip to the cops in Halloween 5. I don't feel that way at all. Just because these two cops are kind of having a humorous exchange, I didn't think, oh, Halloween 5 cops. I didn't feel that way at all. It just didn't come across that way to me. I like this shot though. It's like, what's going on down there, right? There's a lot of mystery. You know what I mean? It's like through the windshield, you see the cop car way in the distance with the light flashing. There's a lot of unknown factor there. There's a lot of mystery there. I like that. Like, what's going on? Who is that? What's happening? I'm Dr. Sartain and I'm about to die.
What was the word? Fuck.
Yeah. Fuck. Here it comes. This is so wasted. And you didn't need.
Now, I will say this is a satisfying kill.
Sure, yeah.
Of a douchebag character that I absolutely do not like. So Michael killing him the way he does.
It's definitely a satisfying kill. That is true. And there's going to be a lot of death and carnage and blood and satisfying kills.
Oh yeah, that's what, like I said, I meant to say that when you were talking about that a moment ago with regards to kills. My hope with kills, and again, because I've kept myself in the dark with this, other than seeing the teaser, and I've said this many times, I want it to be bloody. I want the kills to be so off the wall and so good, almost like a callback to 80s slasher. You know what I mean? Like just the over the top killing and the way Jason would kill someone, or the way Freddy would kill someone, or the way Michael eventually came back in the late 80s. Yeah. But just that type, that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm expecting when I watch the movie. He just doesn't get the head tilt. Just, like no one can head tilt.
I think it looks okay. I think it looks all right,
but
I think it's fine. There's
only one man who could do the head tilt.
But
that's Nick.
But how do people feel in the chat room? How do people feel about Sartain's death? I don't mean the fact that he died. I mean the fact that, a guy stomping on your head. I mean, I could stomp on your head. You could stomp on my head, and it's not going to explode. You know what I mean? And his head literally explodes.
Michael needs to be squatting like fucking 1,000 pounds for that type of pressure. I mean, you know what I mean?
That was some big stuff right there. The shit just got real.
But yeah, I hope that that's what Kills is like, man. I really do. I hope it's just like, I hope it's a good movie. I hope I enjoy it. And I hope it's just like, this is like a callback to 80s slasher film.
Well, I think you will.
Which is probably why I know there are reviews coming in, and I know that the critics aren't liking it. And that, to me, that's a good sign, because what I'm hoping the movie to be like is probably why the critics don't like it. Because I know the critics won't like it if it's like that.
Right.
If it's an over the top throwback to 80s slasher films.
Right. I get you.
There's the Myers house, Dave. There's the Myers house, Dave.
The Myers house? What?
The dollhouse.
Oh, no, it's not the Myers house though. It's got three windows. It looks like it should be
No,
the
Dave,
Myers
you're
house.
wrong. It's the Myers house.
I don't know if it's supposed to be the Myers house, but it's got 3 windows and not just 2. I thought it was the Myers house when I first saw it.
Not only that, it's got windows on top of the roof, and the Myers house doesn't have windows on top of the roof.
That's what. Well, yeah. It does. No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. That's
you know
right.
what I mean? Like the 2 windows at the very top of the roof.
Yeah,
Myers house doesn't have that.
No, it doesn't. No, it's structured a bit differently.
But Dave, it is.
Dave,
you're wrong. It's totally the Myers.
I think Ray's death could have been better. I think Ray's death, because Michael just...
though, the music shortly after Ray's death is fucking great. Ray's Goodbye. That's one of my favorite tracks on the 2018 soundtrack.
It is.
I
Yeah, it's
fucking
good.
love it.
But I would have liked to have seen Ray, get a more satisfying death. It just kind of feels like
just snapped his neck off. That's how I would have done it. And then stabbed him in the fucking dick with a knife. There's your peanut butter. There it is. The music. This is so good. I mean, I love the OG shaped stock. I really do. But Ray's Goodbye, man, in this is good. This music is fucking awesome. There's just so much depth to that bass. It's so fucking rich. Again, I love the original from 78, but this, man, like, and that added like synth sound that John probably did.
oh, this is a great track right here. Yeah, let me turn this up.
Yeah, I play this on repeat a lot. Like when I'm editing and I'm just in an editing zone, repeat.
Get out here now! Get out now!
Michael's here. Get downstairs.
Go, baby, go!
Go, baby, go!
Go, baby, go!
And I like this.
Rocking that Christmas sweater.
I love that. Great work. It's great shit, man. It's great shit. It's good stuff. We're gonna get a copyright for sure. That's okay, because we can't monetize these shows anyway.
You don't monetize.
I can't monetize.
No,
I can't.
you can't.
YouTube doesn't monetize these shows.
Because of the word shit in the title.
Yeah, it's not because we swear, because I swear on all my other live shows and they get monetized. It's because
YouTube
the word
is offended because of the word shit.
Because of the word bullshit. Yeah, for sure.
You know what you could do?
I'm not changing it to S asterisk or whatever. I'm not.
In my opinion, I would have killed Lori right here.
Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine how stunned the audience would have been?
I would have been like, fuck yeah!
No, but I just mean for the like how shocking that would be. Like, holy shit. Well, yeah, but it still would have been shocking, right? It would have been like, holy shit, they actually went there.
I was gonna say you could change the I to an exclamation mark if you wanted to in the word bullshit. You could change it to that.
It's not gonna.
No, I know.
Yeah, they just don't like it.
Dude, I would have been fucking cheering like fucking Tom Brady winning the Super Bowl if he had done that. If they killed Lori at that moment.
And he comes down the stairs naked.
Exactly.
What the fuck is Michael
posing for Karen?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Your mom's dead. You're next.
Mom's dead, bitch. What do you? But he's still got his mask on though.
Exactly. Just the mask. Only the mask.
That's right. That's
like,
right.
Karen, I want you to draw me like one of your French girls wearing this mask.
That's
Only
it.
This mask.
That's it.
And now Halloween's connected to Titanic.
Yep. That's it. This is the moment where Lori's having that kind of, so the shit that Karen is going through, all that stuff that she's suppressed is starting to come.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I know I came down hard on this movie, but like I said, in rewatching this the other night, I don't know. Like, I see what they're trying to do, and I think that's where I'm starting to warm up to it more.
Yeah. That's a great thing too. They show his fingers like this pointing down. That's like the sign of the devil. So great. That's
creative. That's what I'm saying. Like little things like that. I'm like,
right.
Nice.
The average person is going to miss that, who's not maybe not paying attention.
Except
but,
for you and I, because we worship the devil.
Right. Well, yeah, we are the devil. Actually, I am the devil. No, I am. I don't know if my audience knows that. I am the fucking devil.
That's a joke. We don't worship the devil.
No, well, fuck that. I worship the devil every night. I go by, "Hail Satan!" and then all of a sudden you're, "I am the devil."
Tomorrow we're gonna get a thing from Dave's girlfriend. Dave's car was struck by lightning.
I am the devil, and I'm going to destroy you.
You sounded like Candyman there for a moment. Hey, have you seen that, by the way, the new one? Because I actually got it available for me on my new, I bought the new iPhone 13 mini. I got the mini, which I love this little phone. It's really good.
Nice.
But with it,
so that's your new phone now?
It's my new phone now.
Cool.
And I get HBO Max with it, like
Cool.
part of my AT&T plan. So,
Cool.
so now I'm watching HBO Max again because it's part of it. I'm not paying for it.
Right.
And Candyman's on there. I'm like, I think I need to watch this.
Yeah, I got
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't yet. I have the
Chat
S21
room,
Ultra.
If you guys have seen Candyman, is it good? Like, is it worth a dance?
Yes.
I can tell you what I did watch the other day because it's on HBO Max. Poltergeist 3, and I realized how much I didn't like that movie.
I remember.
But now though, in knowing what happened to Heather, now it makes sense why you don't see her face at the end of the movie. Because I never realized that until rewatching it the other day. I was like, oh, that's why because she died.
Well, I'm going to say it. Because I killed her.
Did everyone say?
No, Heather O'Rourke. Yeah, she died.
Yeah, I didn't realize she died before they finished it. I knew she died, but I didn't realize. And then I found out that's the reason why that last shot when they're holding her, you don't see her face. Her face is tucked into the, the mom's shoulder. Now,
this scene here where Laurie eventually enters her bedroom, I'm going to say this. I know Christopher Nelson disputed this on a recent episode of The Thing with Two Heads with Sean Clark.
It looking like the room from the original?
Well, yeah. There was, he had said that there was never a plan to sort of...
I call bullshit on that.
Change, erase the ending of not erase. I just had deja vu. This is crazy. I will say not erase, but sort of alter the ending of the first movie by having Michael kill Loomis, and then Laurie shoots Michael out the window, whatever. Now, this comes from... I'm not saying that's the script they went to town with. I'm not saying that was even approved, but according to Bloody Disgusting, and this is verifiable, it was an idea that was toyed around with in the very early stages of an early draft. That comes from John Carpenter himself. So maybe Christopher Nelson wasn't aware of that. I mean, you have to understand that just because you work on a movie doesn't mean you're privy to every bit of information, every level. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that. There is a hierarchy and a chain of things. I'm not saying that he wouldn't know that, but the reason why Laurie's bedroom, when she eventually enters her bedroom, if you pay close attention, it looks very similar to the bedroom at the end of the first movie, the Doyle bedroom where she was hiding in the closet, the layout. Okay. And that's because they actually built this because they were going to use this. They were going to recreate the ending of the first movie. And so they built the Doyle bedroom where the balcony is, where the closet is, where everything is. This room here, you'll notice there's the closet, right? Over to the left. And then the balcony's over to the right. See there, all that? The layout is it looks identical to the Doyle house because that's what they were going to do. And that is changing Dr. Loomis and kind of changing what happened. I'm not saying that's what they were going to go with, but that was something that they had planned, or that was in an early draft or early ideas. And that comes from Bloody Disgusting and John Carpenter. So I don't know if Christopher Nelson's unaware of that or he forgot about it. I'm not saying he's lying. Maybe he doesn't know, or there might be some nuances that are getting lost, right? In the details, but certainly I thought that was kind of interesting, and thank God they didn't do that. But yeah, this layout here is very much the Doyle house bedroom.
And I'm going to ask the chat room one more question because I was wrong. It's not on HBO Max and it's not on Peacock. It's available to rent on iTunes for $20. So my question is, Is it worth spending $20 on Candyman, or should I just wait till,
Well, why don't you go to your mirror and say his name 5 times and find out?
Should I wait for the rental to be, more reasonably priced, like $5?
Just stand in front of your mirror and go, should I watch Candyman? Candyman. Candyman.
Nick, the audio on this it's fucking amazing. I mean, even without headphones, when I work out now in my driveway, I don't need headphones. It's that good.
He tilts his head there. Yeah, looking at Lori. Of course, there's no evidence to suggest that he recognizes her. Look, he tilts his head in the window before she shoots the window. He tilts his head right there, being close proximity with her. He kind of tilts his head a little bit there again. Does he recognize her? I don't know. I think it's up for debate. I don't think we're going to know until maybe this trilogy is done. But certainly there's speculation. I like this shot. Myers looking over and the light on one side of his face. I really like that a lot. It's a great shot. One of my favorite shots of Myers in this movie. Yeah. When he's looking over the balcony and he's just kind of lit on one side.
I hope she's the last one standing. I really do. I'm pulling for you, Allison.
She's going to die.
Except calling her grandmother. No, you need to call her grandma.
That almost looked like yeah. She's gone.
There's the callback. There's the callback
Happy
to the
Halloween,
OG.
Michael.
I can play that game too, Michael.
That's right, bitch. I can play that game too, fucker. Come on down here, honey. What about Grandma?
Yeah,
Don't worry about her.
You, man, I'm rooting for Allison to be the last one standing.
Well, she may be.
I hope so.
Maybe. She may be. Baby.
I mean, I fully believe that Jamie Lee will at least make it till the end, like Halloween ends. It'd be hard to not saying that Halloween fans wouldn't go see the last one. But of the 3 girls, I will say this. You could definitely dispense with Judy Greer's character, and that's fine. That's not going to have any weight. You could kill off Andy Natachek as well, too, but that would just fucking blow, because I think there's a lot of people who feel the same way, that you want to see Allison's character, maybe the passing of the torch, become the new final girl.
Right. I think, but at the same time, but then what, right?
Right. No, I know.
Do you make more movies with her and Michael? Then you're kind of just doing
I wouldn't make more movies. I'm just saying,
right.
you have a moment where she is the one.
I get
it's
you.
her now. Yeah.
Our man Harry Hagan says, Tony, wait, don't spend $20 to rent. And I've seen enough black people's reviews of Candyman to know. I
just wanted to know whether we should wait or not.
I think Harry, if I might be mistaken, but I think Harry is black, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I might be mistaken. But Harry says, I've seen enough black people's reviews of Candyman to know that they felt like they were being pandered to. Oh, well, there you go. Kind of like, and it's kind of like,
okay.
That's what I'm talking about, and, there's a lot of women, even though there's some that like the movie, there's a lot of women that felt the same way about Black Christmas 2019. I'm telling you, man, there's a right way and a wrong way to do it.
This is a good score too.
People don't like to be preached to. People don't like, it's condescending, Anyways, I haven't seen Candyman yet, so I don't know, but my thoughts probably don't matter because I'm just a white guy.
Yeah, in fact, if I were to rank the girls of Halloween now, we're just taking the characters, okay? The girls.
Right.
Of all the whole franchise.
Here it comes. Her moment of redemption. Her moment of redemption right here. Sorry, Tony. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just didn't want to miss this.
No. Oh, wait. I can't do it, Mama. I can't.
Here it comes.
I can't do it.
Mom.
I do. I like this score.
It's great. Here it is.
Mom!
Mommy? Mama?
Help us!
We're so innocent.
I can't do it!
I can't.
I'm sorry, I can't do it!
Yes, you can. Think of Dr. Sartain.
Gotcha.
Oh!
It's another shoulder shot.
Happy Halloween, Michael.
Yeah, the more listen, I always thought that the Happy Halloween Michael when she comes out of the darkness was cheesy. When I first saw it in the theater, at the premiere, I remember thinking this is this is kind of cheesy. And it looked digital. It looked like she didn't actually come out of the darkness. It looked like it was sort of composited that way. Watching it here, and remember, this is only my fourth time watching this movie. I swear to God, this is the fourth time I'm watching this movie. And it played all right. You know, again, it's probably because I'm used to it and I've seen it a couple of times now, so I know what to expect. But it doesn't play as cheesy as it did. And so maybe that's just me, you know. I don't know. Happy Halloween, Michael. He's going down. He's down. Now this is... Okay, now this knockdown, this is not James Jude Courtney when he gets knocked back. Oh, no. Okay, no, that was already done earlier.
I think we missed it.
We missed it. The sit-up?
When he goes down
and does the sit-up? Yeah, I missed that. That I believe was Aaron, whatever his last name is. I always forget his last name.
Isn't that the dude who's playing Michael in the 78 flashbacks?
Yes, I think so. And I think that was him here as well.
Okay.
This is James, but the actual sit-up I think was Aaron.
And that was a solid sit-up, one of the better
ones.
It
was great. Fuck, it was way better than H2O's drunk, inebriated Michael sitting up on the road and just kind of looking over.
Drinking some bourbon.
Oh, Jesus.
Whatever
the hell that was supposed to be. And this is the reshoot. This was not, of course, how this movie was supposed to end.
How was it supposed to end?
Well, Laurie and Michael get into quite the battle outside, and she's stabbed, and they take her to the hospital. I forget what happens to Michael, but he eventually, I think he walks off into the woods or something, and he finds a stash of Laurie's mannequins or whatever, and you kind of hear his heart rate like... And it begins to slow down a bit, and he just kind of sits down on a log or something, and his heart rate begins to slow, and he's just kind of sitting there.
Didn't see that.
Well, no,
that would have been bad.
Reading it on paper, I wanted to see it. I wanted to see it because reading it on paper, I was like, oh, this is kind of, it's hard to tell. This might be because there was a lot of symbolism around what they were trying to do. But nonetheless, they decided to go with this. Obviously, the studio was like, no, I think we need something a little more dramatic. So they did. I remember the speculation after this movie, who's driving the truck? In my sequel concept idea, I have it as Sheriff Brackett. Although it's not Sheriff, it's Brackett driving the truck.
Maybe it's Tommy.
No, I don't think it is. If I remember right. If I remember right.
Oh, so I was saying, if I were to rank my favorite girls from the Halloween franchise, and we're going to exclude Rob Zombies from this equation.
Wait 1 second. Hang on. Pause 1 second. Hang on. Sorry. Hang on. We're right at the end, so I just want to kind of go.
Oh.
And cut. We are done, ladies and gentlemen. That was Halloween 2018, dedicated to Mustafa Akkad, who sadly passed away in 2005 with his daughter, I think it was, at a terrorist attack. Very, very sad. Halloween 2018. Hey, if you're watching after the fact, comment below and let Tony and I know, what did you think of the movie? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? What are your favorite moments? What do you maybe wish you would, you could have seen? How do you feel about it now? 3 years on. We are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 3 days. I had to count on my fingers there. 3 days away. We usually do these shows on Mondays. 3 days away from Halloween Kills, folks. Are you excited? Let's go. Tony was going to give us his list here. All right, Tony, go away. Sorry.
It's not really much of a list. For number one for me is Rachel. That will always be the case. I love
Rachel Carruthers.
I love Rachel. They did her so wrong in Halloween 5. Oh, fuck a 5.
100%.
After that, I got to tell you, Allison's moving up the chain really fast because I'd probably put her at number 2. I like the character. I hope we see the character grow in Kills. And I can say that confidently because of what I'm seeing in the 2018 film. That if they continue to go in the direction that I'm hoping they go with it, yeah, she's going to be able to really rest easily in that 2 spot. Yeah, I know. Everyone's like, you can pick her over Laurie Strode. I'm just not a Laurie Strode fan. That girl should have went in the original film.
There's nothing wrong with that, folks.
I digress. Number 3, yes. I'll give it to Laurie Strode, and I'm not counting Jamie Lloyd, because she's a kid. I'm counting the characters as adults. That's how
Right.
I'm doing it.
I understand.
I'm not counting.
No, there's nothing creepy going on here. We get it.
Because that's just weird now at 40.
No, we get it. Totally.
Too. It's totally.
That's right.
And then after that, I would probably say in the like fourth slot, it could go to either Linda or Annie. You know, it's kind of a tie with the two of them. And then I probably would put in that like fifth spot Vicky from Halloween 2018. I just wish we could have gotten some more screen time with her.
Okay.
Kelly Meeker, you know, she's there in that sixth spot. You know, H2, the second film, I mean, you really don't have final girls. You just have girls who get offed. Really.
Well, Lori is still the final girl.
I mean,
she's
that's
carried
sorry.
over.
Let me rephrase that. You don't have like girls that you can really attach yourself.
Right,
I guess Janet maybe.
Dr. Mixter.
I mean, Dr. Mixter. Yeah, because you really think about all the other nurses, they're there to die. I mean, they're there to die.
Die, Michael, die.
Yeah, and I know. Then you start thinking of 5, like Tina.
Die.
6, but yeah, I mean, I you know, I got to tell you, when I think of the Halloween girls, excluding the Rob Zombie 2 films, just focusing on, you know, the core part of it, that, you know,
I understand.
Man. Yeah, Allison's she's moving up the chain.
She's moving up the chain.
Pretty quickly. So
all right, let's go to some of these super chats. Bud Gumperson sends in 1234, says if they don't bring Loomis back, I know I love Bud Gumperson. If they don't bring Loomis back to life and kills and have him played by Busta Rhymes, I'll walk out of the theater and make a bad review of the film online with the hashtag make the Busta cut.
Make the Busta cut.
We'll hold you to it, my man. And it looks like you're going to have to do that. Matthew Foresi sends in 499, says Halloween 4 is still my favorite sequel. Halloween 2 and Halloween 18 are fighting for the number 3 spot. Halloween 3 is the last one I like. The rest blow. There you go, folks. Jordan Ellis sends in $9.99, just says for the channel. Thank you very much, Jordan. Appreciate that. Juan Rivera sends in $10, says, Dave, have you heard about the Netflix series Movies That Made Us? Yes. First episode is about Halloween. Well, actually, that's the first episode of the 3rd season. There's actually 2 other seasons prior to that. Sean Clark is actually in that episode too, as is Erwin Yablans. I recommend to check it out. They do Halloween, Friday the 13th, Elm Street. Yeah, it's great. The 3rd season is up on Netflix now. First episode is about Halloween. Fun fact, the little rumor about the movie being called The Babysitter Murders is false. Check it out. Yes, I watched it. And according to Erwin Yablans, now there's obviously some details because they didn't really ask any questions about that. According to Erwin Yablans, the idea, and of course he's the guy that, you know, is the inception of this film. It was his idea. All the love that goes to Carpenter, all the love that goes to Mustafa Cod is warranted. It's fair, absolutely. But we have to remember the idea, the inception, and the name, and the idea of the poster comes from Erwin Yablans. It was his idea to do a low-budget horror movie that was theater of the mind. It was his idea to set the movie on Halloween and call the movie Halloween. And it was his idea about the poster and the fist with the knife and the pumpkin. So if anybody would know, you'd think it would probably be him. And he's on this episode saying that, yes, he says, yeah, no, the Babysitter Murders, he's like, I don't know where that came from. No, that's not true. Well, that's interesting because that's quite a big known thing within horror and Halloween. So I would like to get more details on that. Maybe I'll try and reach out to him and see if I could get more details because that's interesting. That's interesting. I'd love to know, well, then where did that come from then? Was that something that, maybe it's as simple as, no, Erwin's right, but, you know, while Deborah and I were writing the script, we just casually called it The Babysitter Murders, and then like a couple of weeks later, you know what I mean? Like there might be just something, it may just be as simple as that, but it was never officially called that or anything in terms of, according to Erwin Yablans. That's not true. There was anything like that. That's interesting. And yeah, I would assume he would know. Okay. Kevin Lancaster sends in $5, says, thank you both for all that you do. Tony, I love your photography. Dave, I'm a big fan of your channel. I love It's Me, Billy. So ready for H Kills. Well, thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that. And yeah, Tony's a hell of a photographer. There's no doubt about that. Is Tony still here?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you were
I haven't.
He's thinking about Allison.
I'm thinking about, no.
Let's see here. Matthew Ferresi sends in $9.99, says, between Hawkins discovering the gas station deaths and Michael's one-shot take rampage, it feels like they should have added a few scenes of stalking. Felt like a scene or two was missing. Yeah, well, Tony and I were talking about that. That shape stalks Allison. Oh, man.
Yeah,
what a missed opportunity.
They missed the boat on that
one. Man. And so, like the ideas that you were talking about too, Tony. I mean, you're bang on with that. I mean, it's 100%. That would have been great to see. All right. Happy Sanjo sends in $2, says, in general, does gore lessen scares for you both?
What?
Does gore, Al Gore. No. Does Al Gore, does gore lessen scares for you both? So do we find a movie less scary that has more gore?
I think it comes down to context and like what. Okay, so when I mean by that is when I watch Friday the 13th, I'm expecting gore. It's right. It just goes hand in hand. That's Friday the 13th. When I'm watching Halloween, I don't mind a little blood, but I don't need the gore, with the exception of kills. I'm giving a hard pass to because, like I said, my hope for Halloween Kills is it's a nice callback to that shit that we got in the 80s with the over-the-top gore and kills and stuff like that. That's where I'm giving it the exception to. So yeah, I think it all comes down to like the type of horror movie you're watching. When you're watching a classic, like I've been doing pretty much for the whole month, I've been watching all the classic black and white films from the 30s, the 40s and 50s.
Right.
No, you don't want to see stuff like that. But when you're watching, Chainsaw Massacre, but even then, like when you look at the old film, the
original's got no blood in it.
It's got no blood in it.
I mean, there's a little bit, but
it's all the suspense.
Yeah.
So I just think it comes down to like the context of the movie that you're watching and does it work? Because it doesn't, to me, gore doesn't equal scary. It's like, okay, that's a cool kill.
I couldn't have said it better myself. The gore in and of itself, seeing blood is not scary. What scares me, and again, maybe I would have answered this differently if I was 20, 19, you know what I mean? I'm 42. So my taste in horror has also changed over the years. I mean, I've always liked the theater, the mind, suspense, even as a kid, but certainly what I find scary is more of the psychological. Now, you could combine psychological with some gore, but it's still the psychological aspect of the movie that I find scary, not the gore part. So, it's the suspense, right? And suspense is just, tension that is created, drawing out the inevitable, and building tension in a moment where, it's delaying the gratification, right? Something's going to happen, but you're not quite sure when, and like all that stuff I love, or just, there I go again with that word, but it's true. It's the nuance. It's the subtleties of the darkness and light and shadow and mood and feeling. Like I like all that stuff. I find creepy. I mean, it was the Canadian Thanksgiving this past weekend, and my girlfriend and I, we were having our turkey dinner and everything, and we started to watch Midnight Mass. And we've done the first 3 episodes so far. Terrific. Like, we're really enjoying it. And, a lot of the ways that Mike Flanagan has implemented that slow burn, that, little creepy things that, and it's fucking great. That's my kind of shit. That's my kind of shit. Now, that doesn't mean there's not a place for the other stuff like Terrifier. Of course, there's a place for things like Terrifier.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, whatever.
But
for really getting into that site, because it sounds like an overused cliche, but it's totally true. What you don't see is always far scarier than what you do, because you think about it in your own mind. You imagine it, and you're going down this dark hall and you don't know what's at the end, or, whatever it is, right? So that stuff is what gets me. So does it lessen the scares? I don't think so, because traditionally you don't usually see a lot of gore in a movie that has a lot of theater of the mind, moon atmosphere anyway. It's usually one or the other. Like they're almost two different subgenres. So yeah, I don't know. But no,
you need to have when you check out and go on to the afterlife, your tombstone should read Dave McRae.
Mood and atmosphere.
Mood and atmosphere is nuance.
Yes. It's all about the nuance and mood and atmosphere. It's all about the bass.
That's what it needs to say.
That's what it needs to say. It's true. But I say those things a lot because I'm trying to help, because listen, obviously we have regular viewers that tune in all the time, but there's also new people that tune into us every week, every show too. So, there's new people that watch us all the time and watch me on my other shows. And so they might not know my tastes, or they might not be as familiar with who I am, or, whatever. So that's why you'll often hear me repeat some things, is not because I have forgotten I've said it. It's because I'm also aware that I might be saying it for the first time to somebody. So that's why you'll sometimes hear me say that. Okay, let's see if we can just get these through, because I know we want to talk a little bit about Scream.
Yes, we are going to talk about Scream, guys. So hang on, we're getting to it. Sit tight. Just want to get through these while we. Where was I here? It's just, oh boy. Okay, we got Schnip sends in $4.99. Says, "You haven't got a police force. These men may be the only defense you got." Yeah, that's right. Halloween 4.
There you go. Julio Aravelo. I'm probably saying that incorrect. Julio Iglesias, yeah. Sends in $5, says, "I always enjoy watching these live shows. First time I send in a super chat. I like when Dave sings Oh Paul. Oh Paul, I give you all. No keys, but please, my Paul." There you go, Julio. And thank you very much for tuning in, buddy. Appreciate that. Movie Chat and More sends in £5. Says, "A few things put to bed. Jimmy is Jamie's dad. It's obvious." Well, that's Lindsay from H4 is Lindsay Wallace. The cops from 2018 are throwback to the 5 cops. I disagree with you. Absolutely. If it's... Listen, I think you can assume, but there's no evidence to... I think you could be right, and I think you could be just as wrong, because about
Jamie thing,
about Jimmy being the dad. About
I always thought it was. I mean, I know there's no
and I think
evidence to it,
right? And I think to assume it and to go with it in your own mind is not wrong, because there's no evidence to suggest that it's not, but there's no evidence to suggest that it is either, other than that they were. Because you have to remember, you can't count on the TV cut, right? In the TV cut of Halloween 2, Jimmy sits up in the back of the ambulance, right? And which is weird. And he's the one that comes out of the body bag. She's like, "Jimmy!" And it's like, oh, I guess they live happily ever after. But I mean, if you watch the theatrical cut of Halloween 2, the real canon cut of part 2, Jimmy's dead, I guess. I mean, we don't even know what happened to him, and Laurie just goes off wherever she's going, obviously to another hospital, maybe in the next town over. I mean, there's no evidence to suggest that they even went off together at all. I mean, just because there was an interest from Jimmy to her doesn't mean that they ended up together. I mean,
Jimmy hit it at the hospital, Mega Cat says. Jimmy tapped it up while Laurie was on the bed.
That's it.
In a comatose state.
That's it. But this is what fans do, right? Correlation
cool
doesn't necessarily mean causation, right?
Yeah.
So they draw these sort of connected the dots. And sure, if you want to say that, that's fine. But I mean, I don't think it's obvious. I don't actually. I completely disagree with that.
Well, I don't think it's obvious, because I just always thought that's how, right. What I mean? Like,
yeah.
There was nothing that was obvious, because the only thing you see in 4 is you see, is there a picture of, I know, like in the shoebox of photos, you see a picture of Laurie from Halloween.
Yeah, there's no picture of anybody else.
But isn't there a picture of a guy holding Jamie on his shoulders? I think there is. I'm almost positive that there is.
I can't remember. But who's the guy?
Watching. That's what I'm saying. There's no clear
could be any
image
guy.
Of exactly.
Could be any guy. In terms of the Lindsay Wallace thing in H4, I know that girl, the director has said, the writer has said, but it's never it doesn't, unless it is like, you can't just create something and then after the fact say, oh yeah, that's supposed to be Lindsay. And then now every time we watch it, that's Lindsay. Okay, that's a Lindsay from part 1. Okay, but it's not woven into the story that allows the audience to know as you're watching the sequence of events play out that this is the same Lindsay from part 1. I mean, maybe that was the intention. Maybe that's what you had in your head. But if it doesn't become obvious or at some point in the movie it is relayed, hey, this is Lindsay. She knows all about the boogeyman. You know, whatever. Like, unless that's said, I mean, just because her name's Lindsay and she's got brown hair doesn't mean that it's that Lindsay. You know, I mean, it could be any Lindsay. It could be any Lindsay at all.
If it is, all right. So
well, that's apparently what the writer wanted, or they wanted to kind of have that, or whatever it was. But if it's not,
does that work out mathematically though? I mean, because
sure, yeah, it does. You know, 78 to 88. Well, yeah, because
how
I mean,
old would you say Lindsay is in 78?
8, then she'd be 18 in 88.
Okay, yeah, all right.
So it works out mathematically. I just think it's. But again, it's another thing of, listen, if you want to go with it, that's fine. In your mind, when you watch it, that's Lindsay Wallace. Okay, that's fine, because that's apparently was an idea or what they were trying to, that's kind of what they wanted to do or whatever. Okay, but you can also watch that film and have no clue and no idea that is that Lindsay. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it's going to be Halloween Kills that when, you know, Kyle Richards shows up, it's obvious this is Lindsay Wallace. You know what I mean? Anyway. Yeah. And it's not like it had to be the same actress either. But anyway. Okay. Yeah, where am I going here? That was
how are we doing on the super chats?
Yeah, here we go. Fast Forwards 289 sends in oh, wait a minute. Yes. Sends in $9.99. What's up, D&T? Do y'all think Michael would have killed kids before, like Tommy or Lindsay? I never thought Michael would kill kids, which is why the scene in this movie felt a little weird. Well,
I think it's the time. I think back in the day, they probably wouldn't have pulled the gun on that like they do now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fair. I agree. Rad7 sends in $9.99, says, guys, what if Danny, Judith's boyfriend, that left the house before, what if Danny, that's his name, Danny? Guys, what if Danny, Judith's boyfriend that left the house before she was murdered in 78? I always thought it would be cool if he was brought back to some good exposition. Is his name Danny? Is that what he was credited as? I didn't know that his name was Danny.
Danny.
That's true. Danny. What if he was brought back? Sure. I mean, unless he's going to have some sort of, he would have to have some, to make his character interesting, because he was Judith's boyfriend, he would, and we don't know how long they were, I mean, listen, because he's so dismissive, and it's kind of obvious that all he wanted was sex, right? He was using Judith. And that's very obvious to me because he's so dismissive when he comes down the stairs. He's like, you know, call me tomorrow. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, but but he's fast, but he's also just like, yeah, whatever. Sure. You call me? Yeah, sure. He's not fucking Calling her. He used her. Colliver. He used her. He totally used her. So, for him to come back would be like, why? He just wanted to bang her. And she was used. Now, if he was a different kind of boyfriend, and maybe they just had a fight or something, you could weave it into the narrative that no, they had actually been dating, and they've been dating for like, you know, maybe a couple of years. Maybe they were like high school sweethearts or something. Maybe he has knowledge of little Michael Myers that he's kept to himself because he's been over there. He's had dinner with them. He's, you know,
what was his name in the movie? Danny?
I don't know. Apparently. But I'm just saying that maybe if
all that dude is a 2-pump chump.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is that if you were going to bring him back, I believe you would have to then create that his character had more importance than it really did. It's obvious in the opening of, like, you can't just bring him back. Why? He was, as you know, Tony said, a 2-pump chump who lasted 30 seconds, who just wanted to bang her. And that's why he's so dismissive when he's leaving. Call me tomorrow? Yeah, sure. Promise? Yeah. He's not fucking calling her. He doesn't care. So I don't think that they were really dating, and the parents probably didn't even know about him. You know what I mean? However, if you do want to bring him back, then maybe you could somehow write that in where they were together. Maybe they broke up that night. You know what I mean? Maybe that's why he's kind of dismissive or something. And he had actually been dating her for a long time, which places him at the Myers house, part of the family at certain things, and he's able to see Michael, and maybe he watched him grow from 4 to 6 or whatever, and then he might have some sort of knowledge that he could bring forward to the movie. But if you're not going to do that, why are we bringing him back? Judith's dead. Who gives a fuck about this guy? He was just a fucking douche. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about that anyway. Scott Mariano sends in $4.99 and says, Dave, is it possible H Kills opens with October 31st, 1970 on the screen and cuts right to the flashbacks? No comment. That's not yes or no. I just don't want to spoil anything for you. Either yay or nay. Sweet Tea, the tea is sweet tonight. Sends in $9.99. Says, for the channel, my friends, be safe too. Thank you very much, Sweet Tea. And then DreedMem77 sends in $10. Says, D&T, I can't help but to compare H18 to H2O. I remember enjoying both when I watched them at first, but neither film has aged well with me. I like H18 over H2O, but H18 doesn't have me excited for H Kills. Fascinating. Tony, thoughts? What was the question? He just said, Dave and Tony, I can't help but compare H18 to H2O. I remember enjoying both when I watched them at first, but neither of them have aged well for me. I like H18 over H2O, but H18 doesn't have me excited for kills. He doesn't.
H2O is always going to have a special place for me. I saw that with my high school sweetheart. Arguably, I guess the first girl that I actually loved, I knew the understanding of love because I was 17, 18 years old at the time. I'm not talking like the junior high shit, when I saw Halloween. Right. Or no, I was a freshman at the time when I saw Curse of Michael Myers, like 14 years old. You know what I mean? Not that you, no, you do grow. You do grow between 14 and 18 and your understanding of things. So yeah, I mean, my like for H2O really, and I've said that many times, it's very sentimental. The girl that I saw it with, it was such a great night at the theaters with my friends. It's so far the only overall good experience of watching a Halloween film for the very first time. Got a feeling that's going to change on Friday. Even though I'm watching it at home, I'm still going to give myself the movie going experience. But yeah, no, I mean, I'll always, for me, I'm never going to have any beef with H2O, just for that reason alone.
Right.
I know its faults. I get it. It's Dawson Creek, Halloween. I get it.
Yeah.
It's got the Scream fucking soundtrack in it. It's like, okay.
Indeed, it does.
It is what it is. And yeah, I mean, it's gonna always comfortably, maybe, I hope it's always gonna comfortably sit in that 5 slot for me. Because my top 5 are pretty rooted.
Yeah.
But no, the 2018 film has done the opposite, because I think you guys, if you even go back and watch the first time me and Dave watched this live, I wasn't really feeling it. I was very negative towards the film, and it's growing on me because like Dave, when you pointed it out earlier tonight, the little symbolisms with Michael's fingers pointing down and things like that. Even me looking at it, when looking at Judy Greer and Andy Matichak and going, yeah, man, they look like they could be, all related. Like there's features that I see there that clearly they took time when they went to cast these women in these roles, that you wanted to be able to say that, yeah, they could be related.
Yeah.
And then again, we even talked about this earlier with Karen. Wasn't a fan of her at the beginning. Really was not a fan of the character at all at the beginning. Still not a big fan of Judy Greer, because I do think she's very blasé at times with her performance. But there's certain things to the character that I like that she has done with being naive, that
Yes.
The world is great, the world is sunshine and rainbows, when mom's like, no, the world is fucking dark. And we know it's true, the world is dark, and people do tend to put themselves in a safe space or a bubble. And that's not a shot at a particular, I'm just saying, and I'm using those words as an example, because that's true, people do tend to do that, and they want to believe that And I commend people who like that, who want to believe that the world is a good place, but the reality is the world,
Right.
it's got dark shit, and you need to be prepared for that when the dark shit comes. And as I said a few moments ago, fucking Andy Madchak, man, that girl is just fucking killing it. I want to see that girl standing at the end, fucking with that knife in her hand, saying, "I got you, you old."
You might. Okay, so there's more super chats that have come in. Thank you guys so much. We're gonna take a break from the super chats here for just a second and tackle the Scream trailer, Tony, and then we'll finish off the chats. So Scream, not to be confused with Scream.
Not to be Scream.
Like Halloween isn't to be confused with Halloween and Halloween, or Candyman with Candyman. But that being said, so the Scream 5 trailer dropped today, and here are my thoughts, and I'll let Tony go off. So I'm a casual, I'm not a big fan. Like I like the first Scream. Now Frank Riker doesn't like Scream. But I like the first Scream. Now, what do I mean when I say I like the first Scream? Well, I like the kind of horror movie that is this spoofy, kind of self-aware, sort of, poking fun at the genre, but in kind of a fun way. Like I think Scream personally is the perfect standalone horror movie. Now, it's done very well. Ghostface, I understand. I give credit where credit is due. Ghostface is one of the icons. He's become a legend now. I understand that, even though he's multiple people and he's clumsy, he's become a legend. I get it. I understand it. Certainly these films have an audience. Certainly they have fans. It's marketable. It's relatable. I get it. I understand all that. But the first Scream ends without any jump scares in terms of like somebody coming out of the closet or the eyes opening. I know there's that moment where, Billy, comes back to life and she shoots him in the forehead, but he's dead, right? And then it just ends on Gale, then it kind of pans away, and it just like it's a perfect kind of fun little one and done kind of thing. But of course, it was hugely successful, and they made 2, and they made 3, and they made 4, and I have never liked any of the sequels. I don't care if it's 2, 3, it's just me. I haven't liked any of the sequels, 2, 3, or 4, as much as I enjoyed the first Scream. I thought I had fun watching it. It was just different. I was 17 when it came out. I remember watching it. I remember thinking, well, this is just different. It was kind of, it's meta, and of course I probably didn't know what that word meant at 17, but I certainly understood and got what they were doing. It's like, oh, this is kind of interesting. This is kind of different. It's kind of fun. And I enjoyed it, but I've never really enjoyed the sequels that much. I don't know. It's just tired, I guess. It feels tiresome. And so when I watched the Scream 5 trailer, it's a well put together trailer, but of course, what are we expecting? An amateurly put together trailer? No, it looks great. This is a professional Hollywood film. It looks great. But you take the legacy characters out of the trailer, and it just looks like another Scream movie. It just looks like we've been here, done this before. We've seen this. What's making it different, of course, is that you have the legacy characters. We're living vicariously through that. There's the nostalgia. There's the emotional connection. And you hear Dewey's line, "Something feels different this time." What does it mean? You got to see Stu's house. Oh, what does that mean? "Hello, Sydney. It's an honor." Oh, who is this? What's going on? The tone of the trailer is definitely more serious. Now, the film is obviously going to have some fun in it, but it definitely plays out like a serious slasher. And I wouldn't get that this was like a spoofish or kind of fun. It plays it straight. But I just, what I'm seeing, the callback of the opening to Drew, and I'm watching this and I'm like, I just feel like I've seen this before. Like I haven't seen it in these scenes or these characters, or it's not like I've seen this exact movie before, but the trailer didn't wow me. Is it always cool to see Nev as Sydney? Of course. Just as it's always cool to see, Heather return in part 3, or, Jamie come back, Jamie.
Laurie.
She come back as Laurie. Like it's always cool to see what you grew up with and that nostalgia come back, and you're like, oh, there they are. Oh, this is so cool. But when you kind of remove that nostalgia and you look at it kind of more objectively, you're like, what did I watch? Like, what is is that now I've heard from somebody who has heard, this is a source of mine, has said that there has been a screening and that it's actually quite good, and that's good. I always want movies to succeed. I'm good. I'm glad that apparently there was a screening and it went over well. That's a plus, right? But looking at the trailer, it's competently put together. It's a good trailer. It's actually a very good trailer. But I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know. Like, is this just kind of more the same? Like, you know, Ghostface comes up again and then you got to get the others back again. And that, like, I hope there's got to be something. And I would think that these guys are smart enough to know this. There's got to be something that's going to make us go, oh, okay. Now, whether that's who Ghostface really is, whether that's a big twist, you know what I'm saying? Like, does Stu come back? But Dave, he had a television dropped on his head. Sure, but this is Hollywood. Maybe he was, I don't know, I'm just, you know, like there's got to be something other than, and it ends up being the classroom jock named Steve, and he's just a crazy fan. And it's just like, you know, okay, but we've done this. So I watch it and I'm like, there's gotta be something. I'm hoping there's something I'm not seeing yet. There's some real thing they're holding on. And that's how I feel. So I'm not more excited now than I was yesterday. Tony.
Well, unlike with Halloween Kills, Scream, I have definitely kept a close watch on and what's been going on. And I do know, and there's a lot of people who know this, that the trailer we saw today, a lot of shit you're not going to see in the movie. The directors did this on purpose. They're doing a major misdirect. They shot a lot of this. They shot a lot of different versions of people's deaths in this movie. So there is a very strong likelihood that there's a lot of misdirect going on in this trailer. And they did say that was not a secret. Okay. They let people know because they don't want this to be spoiled. So, right. Because there's a good and a bad with that. The good is I loved the tone of this movie because the two Screams that I watch the most are 1 and 4. I don't really watch Scream 2 and 3 that often, even though it's got my girl in it. I love my girl. I can watch Neve Campbell all day long, but like 2 and 3, it became like too campy and a joke within itself. And that's what I don't like. What 4 did successfully is what I liked in the tone of this trailer. And I don't know if Wes Craven just didn't want to pull the trigger on it because I felt like he was close enough to where it was going to be more serious and it was going to have more of a darker tone. Like you saw glimpses of that in Scream 4, which is why I like that sequel more. And I'll usually just watch it like that. I'll just watch 1 and 4 and then I'm done. You know, unless you and I are going to do a live stream or something like that, or maybe once in a blue moon, I might throw on Scream 2 or something like that. But yeah, for the most part, it's usually just 1 and 4. And when I was watching the trailer, I was like, okay, this is darker. It's got a darker tone. I'm definitely getting the 90s nostalgia feel with Drew Barrymore, the scene there at the beginning. Got a feeling that's not going to show up. I don't know. Or it's not going to play out the way that we're thinking. You know, cause I saw a lot of people like, I can't believe they're giving that away. I'm like, I don't think they're giving anything away. Cause these guys have made it very clear that they're going to, you know, they're going to give you a sense of what the movie's going to be like, but you're going to go in there like, oh, fuck. And
that's what I hope. That's what I hope. Like, I had just said that. Like, I had just said that, right? I said, you know, I am hoping there's got to be something where we go, okay, because right now, like the trailer looks fine, but it looks like stuff we've seen. And so I'm hoping that they're keeping this, you know what I mean? They're like, oh,
exactly. So there was a few cool shots there with the dude leaning over the car and he gets out and then Ghostface is standing there, kind of like Michael Myers-esque, you know what I mean? Like I was like, okay, that was cool. Then you know, obviously the silhouette shot of Ghostface on the wall. I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. I was asked by everybody, and now I'm going to give you my answer. Do I think they're going to kill Neve off? It depends on what their goal is with this franchise. If their goal is to continue it, which I really hope not. I hope that this is the final one, but you know, I think they want to make more.
Well, let's just put it this way. If it does, they won't make more. If it does really well, they're going to make more.
They'll make more. So here's the thing. You can definitely kill Stu. You can definitely kill Gale. Killing off Neve and continuing the franchise, I'll be honest with you, I'll probably lose pretty much all interest at that point. I won't have any desire to continue with watching the franchise. I will be happy. I'll accept it. And it's fine if they kill Sydney off and you know, she goes down in a blaze of glory, whatever. I have no problem with that. But I do think that to try to put people in the seats, it was like what I was saying earlier. If they're going to kill Lori, they're probably going to do it with Halloween Ends. I don't see them killing her off in Kills, because you still need to draw people back. Because I don't believe Annie Matichak and Judy Greer could draw the audience in like you would with Lori. You want to see that final showdown between Lori and Michael. The same thing goes with the Scream franchise. I mean, the face of besides Ghostface, you know, is Sydney, you know, and I understand they're trying to do a passing a baton or a soft reboot of this, more or less, right? Isn't that the goal of this?
Yeah, I mean, this is what it's a trend in Hollywood. We've got Halloween, Candyman, and Scream.
It's a gamble. I mean, it is a gamble, but
it's a soft reboot, like Halloween, like Candyman. So it's a sequel, but it's not. But it is. But it's not. But it is. But it's not.
I will say this. If you want to draw people back in to see more Scream, you don't kill Sydney off until you're ready to kill the franchise off entirely, because not saying that people won't go see it, but I just don't think it will be as successful without Neve Campbell in there. You know what I mean? But there is that side of it, like you said a moment ago, like how many times can you rehash this stuff? That's what makes Scream 1 and Scream 4 so good, because everything they did in the middle of that shit is just
well, and I'm okay with a tonal shift too. Like, I mean, I'm okay if this Ghostface is competent, smart, intelligent,
or Stu
doesn't but no, this is the point. But this is the point I'm making, right? That he doesn't trip over furniture. He doesn't, you know, he's not like, it's not campy like that. No, because then now shit just got real, and that elevates the stakes, and that also confuses the main characters because it's now something they've never faced. It's gone up a different level, right? It's like, you know, a video game. Everybody can jump over, what's the name of the thing in Mario? Kruba or whatever
something like that.
Dragon is there. You know, on the first few levels, it's always easy. You just do a run and then you leap over him, right? Well, by the time you get to world like 8-4, that's fucking hard. He's got like flames coming at you and different shit and stuff. You're like, oh, boom, 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 boom. You know, it's very difficult. And so, you know, if you want to progress this, I know Scream began as a, you know, self-aware, spoofy kind of fun meta thing on horror, and that's great. And you took that through 2 and 3 and 4. But now, if you want to keep it going, it's like there's gotta be you gotta not change the DNA completely, not change the identity completely.
But you do have to revamp it a
but
little. You gotta give it some freshness.
You do, because if you don't,
that's what I was starting to say,
then I'm just
Scream
watching
4,
the same movie again.
Right, and that's where Scream 4 works, because where Wes was smart at the time, you know, 2011. This was in the boom of social media. Social media was really like in its, you know, all newness, Instagram, Twitter, you know, YouTube, all that. Everything was just, you know, we were only a couple years into it and it was booming.
Oh yeah.
And you have this cousin who is envious of her cousin who is, you know, famous. And this girl wants to be famous. She wants to be Sydney. And that became an obsession with her. So that storyline of Sydney's cousin in Scream 4, that makes a lot of sense and really should have been the only sequel. You know, if Wes had not done any of the 2 in the middle, those 2 films would have been totally fine, because everything in the storyline to Scream 4 makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? Because you even hear fucking crazy stories like that. Fans who become obsessive of someone they follow because they want to be like that person. I mean, that's a very relatable story. So he did a because I believe that's the first one Kevin Williamson did not, because he's not back again either with this.
No, he didn't
write Scream 4. He only did the first 3.
That's right.
So I think the new writer for Scream 4 did give Wes that freshness, you know, that the franchise really needed. And I know a lot of people don't like Scream 4, but I will say of the sequels, it is the stronger sequel than I mean, again, Scream 2, again, that's another nostalgia thing for me because that was a nice run during my junior and senior year of high school because I took the same girl literally to see everything Scream 2, Halloween H2O, all of them came out within like a short time frame of each other. But you know, when you look at Scream 2, it's Billy's mom finding a dude who's basically Billy and Stu, you know, a movie dude who fucking, you know, whatever. It's
I understand.
Fucking rocks.
I understand.
Scream 3, the brother twist. Come on.
The half brother we never knew about.
Yeah, the half brother. Like, come on, man. Now I don't know if that's just playing a spoof on like what horror movies did. You know, when they brought in fucking relatives out of the woodwork. You know, I don't know what the whole idea of that behind it was. Maybe that was it. I don't know, but it just I don't usually watch those two movies. It's usually 1 and 4. But with this one, I'm hoping it just goes, like you said, I'm hoping that the newness that it brings to it is that it goes down a dark road, but it's not just some fucked up kid in their school, that there's something beyond that brings it all together.
Right.
Something that's like, oh, did not see that coming. Like,
I agree. I could not agree more. Totally. Yeah.
Do you think they should kill Sydney off and like end it, or like?
It depends if it serves the story. I don't think they're going to kill her off. I think if there's anyone they do kill off, it will be Dewey. But I don't think they will kill her off. But if it serves the story and it's like, wow,
it's a gamble. I mean, it's a gamble.
It's a huge gamble. It's a huge gamble.
There's our thoughts. All right, I know you got a few more super.
Yeah, let's get through these here. Right. Okay. Harry Hagen, my man, sends in $5, says, I'm actually 1/3 black, 1/3 Puerto Rican, and 1/3 Irish. Very cool. Okay. Did you know the actor that plays Rod in A Nightmare on Elm Street is Puerto Rican, but said he was white to get the part? Not surprised.
Yeah, he's
not surprised.
His title is Nick Corey.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, that's the unfortunate sort of, especially back then.
That was the bullshit back in the day. Yeah,
especially back then. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, it still exists today, obviously, and you know, but certainly back then, it was a lot worse. So no, I did not know that. Thank you for telling me that. That's interesting. That's good to know. I wonder if he felt. I'd be interested to know if he felt, well, you know, to be fair, if they were looking for a white person, and he totally passes. I mean, he can play, you know, both. But I'm just saying that if they were looking for a white, like, if it was racial discrimination, if the ethnicity was open, because sometimes you do see that in a breakdown, a casting breakdown, you will see, you know, we are looking for, you know, 5'6" to 5'8" in terms of, like, say, a female, white, blonde. Well, that's not racist. That's what the writer envisions. That's what we want to cast in this role, right? So, and sometimes you'll see casting breakdowns that say, you know, ethnicity, open, anything. It doesn't matter. Black, white, green, purple, doesn't matter. You know, just send us everybody, right? So if it was, like, I'd be curious to know kind of what the details were around that, whether it was like, whether there was some sort of racial thing, or it's just a example of the time in Hollywood that he was worried.
Definitely the time.
For sure. And he was worried that maybe, because if they were looking for a white guy to cast as Rod, and then it makes sense why he would say that. But of course, they're more than entitled to look for somebody who's white to cast, right? I mean, it's you know, it's not, you know, it's people will be white in movies, people will be black in movies, but certainly to get more inclusion in that sense is important. I think it is important to tell stories that are reflective of the people of today. But again, it's nuanced, right? You know what I mean? Because sometimes there's details that we don't know, but that doesn't surprise me though. I mean, he obviously was like, I gotta, you know, he felt that he needed to do that in order to give him the best chance of getting the part. And that is, I hope that eventually goes away, you know, unless they're looking for, no, we need a white guy. You know what I mean? I mean, that's who needs to play this. It's Abraham Lincoln. We need a white guy, you know, or, you know, whatever. No, but I just mean some parts have to be white. Some parts have to be, I mean, you're not going to cast a black guy to play Mike Tyson. You're not going to, a white guy to play Mike Tyson, or a black guy to play, you know, George Bush. Right. But yeah, it's nuanced, and that's unfortunate that he felt that way, though. I didn't know that. Thank you, Harry. Thank you for mentioning that. Jordan Christie sends in $9.99, says, "Hey, Dave and Tony, what do you think about the first-person POV shots from the H1, H2 openings? Is it less, more, or equally as effective as the third-person follow POV? I think POV shots are more effective than third-person. I think, well, it depends, but I think POV shots are always fascinating because generally you don't know whose eyes you're looking through. You know, there's a voyeurism to it that isn't quite there when you are following the person, if you know what I mean. Tony, how do you feel about that? Do you like POV or or following?
I like POV, but I don't need overkill with it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Fair.
Just enough to be satisfying, and that's it.
Right.
But just don't overkill it.
Yeah. Juan Rivera here says, well, being Puerto Rican, I also have to check the white box for race. Yeah, it's so unfortunate. That shit pisses me off. That's it. It's a reality of the industry. Of a lot of industries, but it's so unfortunate. You know what I mean? It's so unfortunate. Fucking pisses me off. Frank Riker sends in $10, says, but Dave, the TV cut of H78 says Michael's middle name is Audrey. H4, Dr. Hoffman types his middle name as M. Then in H18, the manifest Hawkins he has gives Michael an A for a middle name. Weird. Yeah, I guess they went back to Audrey. I don't know why it's M. Well, they probably forgot. That's what it is. It's that simple. That is true, though. Cody Snyder sends in $5.
It was the 80s. Don't forget, it was the 80s. Continuity didn't mean shit. Didn't mean shit back in the 80s.
Harry says he said that his manager told him that if he didn't say he was white, he wasn't going to get the part. Yes, very unfortunate. Yeah, it is unfortunate. But I would like to know, is it because they were looking for somebody who's white? Or is it because they had a racist, maybe there was something a little kind of fishy going on. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, it is. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate when shit like that happens. All right. Are we almost done here? That's a lot of super chats came in today. Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate that. Yeah. Fast Forwards 289 says, D&T, have you ever seen any of the Merkins videos on YouTube? Merkins? They do parody music videos of killers from movies.
They do great parody.
Is that the one that did like the Backstreet Boys one?
Backstreet Boys. One of my favorites is the Leatherface with the achy breaky heart one. That was freaking awesome. Yeah, those guys do great shit. They do.
They're great.
They put a lot of work into it.
Yeah. It's great stuff. Very cool. And then Fast Forwards 289 follows up with the Scream trailer looks pretty cool, but I'm not super excited about. But I am interested in seeing how it plays out. I heard Matthew Lillard is coming back, so I wonder if he'll be the killer. I haven't heard if Matthew Lillard is coming back.
I think people asked him that I know people asked him that at a convention or something, and he said he would be open to the idea,
right?
Of coming back.
Let's just put it this way.
I think that's when it spiraled into
because fans take everything to mean everything and anything. Listen, Matthew Lillard could very well be in this movie, but he could very well not be in this movie. So we shall see. And Doug804 says, I always said the fact that Scream has no supernatural elements at all and always a whodunit plot. It will always be very hard to continue the story with sequels. Well, it's a good point. Yeah, no, it is. Because it becomes sort of, it relies on people dressing up as this. It relies on justifying the believability of this kind of insanity continuing. These copycat sort of killers, and that can wear thin pretty quick. So that's why I don't really like any of the sequels. You know what I mean? Oh, there's Xena barking. That's Tony's dog. Yeah. Barking away. All right.
Dog's barking.
Let's dogs are barking today. Planes, trains, automobiles.
I can hear the neighbor's dog barking, so she's barking at the neighbor.
Oh, really? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
And I think I've got all the super chats. Holy cow. I've got all the super chats. What are we at? We're at
a couple more. Go to 9 o'clock.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. We'll take this to 9 o'clock. 5 more minutes. I should have one of those like hockey things. Last minute to play in the third period. 5 more minutes, folks, to get your questions in. Thank you, by the way, to everybody who has sent in super chats today. You guys are amazing. You guys are awesome, but you know you are. You know you are. And if you don't, you do now. You do now.
Oh,
Candyman. Candyman.
This is actually the night, the night me and Liz went to see H2O. That was back in '98.
Hold that up to the camera a bit. I want to see this. Amazing.
I know. I'm seeing the glare. I'm trying to get it so that you don't see the glare, but
that's very cool.
Yeah, that's us. We were that year. Her grandmother had got diagnosed with cancer. She lives with her grandmother, and she got diagnosed with cancer.
Right.
And like at the very end, there we were just photographing everything.
Yeah.
Just capture moments and stuff. And we were on her couch, and that was us getting ready to go out and see Halloween H2O.
Fascinating.
That night.
Fascinating.
So I was like,
well, I should let everybody know because I've been able to actually get
I'm surprised you were able to hold it that long.
Word here. I should let everybody know here in the chat room. I will make a social media post as soon as the show is done. I am seeing Halloween Kills tomorrow night. What? Tomorrow night, Bruce and I are seeing Halloween Kills in Toronto tomorrow night at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so look out tomorrow evening for maybe a little live stream from downtown Toronto before the show. Look out tomorrow evening for some non-spoilery first thoughts on the social media, or maybe something where we go live. I don't know. And then on Thursday, the plan is on Thursday to talk about it with Louis Lecca from the Nerd Report, who lives in Los Angeles. I believe he's seeing it tonight. And we will be talking about it on...
Don't worry, the rest of us
Thursday.
Losers will be seeing it on Friday.
On Thursday. That is right. Thursday. Look out for that on Thursday. So look for more. Yeah.
You're not going to do spoilers on Thursday, are you?
I don't think so. No, I think we'll just make it a non-spoiler review. And then I can talk about spoilers after the weekend, maybe in the following week. But that's the plan. Anyways, folks, that is the plan. That's the plan, Stan. So, yeah.
I'm going to be watching it on Friday, sitting in my beanbag chair, eating fucking Cheetos.
Well,
with my Michael Myers boxer shorts on.
Cheetos, it's the Cheetos and the whole thing. No, this was gifted to us. This was one of our associate producers, Real Reveal, by the way, who I don't know if he's in the chat or not, but Real Reveal could not go. He had passes to go to an advanced screening, and he could not go, and he gifted these 2 passes to Bruce and I for tomorrow night. This is an advanced screening, so it's not. That's why it's early, and I actually had there was an advanced screening in Toronto of Halloween Kills. Was it tonight or yesterday? There was another a buddy of mine had reached out and who's in the media but I couldn't go. I forget what I was doing, but I couldn't go. So I was like, oh no, I'll see it, when we all see it, right? But no, this was something that was very nice of Real Reveal to gift it to us. So look out tomorrow night, advanced screening, Halloween Kills. Bruce and I are on the prowl. We are on the scene. If you want to know our first thoughts, then look out tomorrow because, and I'm going to spoil the hell out of it all in one tweet. No, I'm not going to do that.
I'm not on Twitter. Chester, no, I'm watching it on Peacock. Because our movie theaters, Cockpea. Our movie theaters require, like most now, are requiring the vaccination passports and all that stuff, and I haven't been vaccinated, so I'm going to sit home. I do think I'm going to enjoy watching it at home because I can enjoy it in the comfort of my home. I have a big enough television. I got surround sound. I won't have any obnoxious people on their phones and all that stuff.
That's the best way to do it.
Quiet.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the best way to do it. Best way to do it.
Yeah.
You and the cock sitting at home.
Well,
Danny Hucken sends in $1.99. Are you guys going to watch Chucky tonight? No, I don't get cable, so I don't have sci-fi. I'll probably have to catch
sci-fi in USA, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll have to watch it some other way. Dennis Alagic sends in $1.99. Dave, do you or Tony think Karen dies and kills? Well, I kind of know the answer to that, so I can't say anything.
Yeah, no, and don't spoil anything.
No, I'm not going to spoil it.
I'm so close. But my gut feeling says probably, like I said, well, this is Tony wishful thinking. Tony's wishful thinking is Karen has a pretty solid death that sends it into Halloween Ends. And now knowing that Halloween Ends takes place a few years later and not on the same night, you got Lori and Allison still dealing with the loss of Karen. But like Allison might be handling it a little bit better because one of the symbolisms that I took from the end of Halloween 18, unlike Lori, where Lori threw away the knife, Allison didn't throw away the knife. Allison's ready to throw down. Allison's like, I'm ready to fucking fight you, dude. I'm not going to wait 40 years to fight you. So my hope is that the setup for Ends is that Allison is full on ready to kick some fucking ass and becomes like Sidney Prescott, not Laurie Strode, and ready to fucking do it and not wait 40 years to do it. Do you know how many years separates Kills and Ends?
Well, he said a few. So let's 3 or 4?
We'll say 3 or 4, maybe, give or take, depending. So that I hope Karen's death, if she does die, is that like, because we see the character of Allison, like she's already there, you know what I mean? She's ready to throw down, but like this sends her into that, like, like they know Michael's still out there and he's not dead. And Allison's like, fuck this. I'm going balls to the walls.
Right.
That's what I want.
That's
probably
what
not going to happen like that, but
Well, maybe it will. Maybe it will happen like that.
It
Who
never
knows?
happens like the way
I don't know. I don't know.
Does.
Juan Rivera sends in $5. Thank you, Juan. Says, going Friday after a haunted hayride with the girl. Nice. Only question. Myers mask on or off? It's allowed from what I know. Oh, on the hayride. I would have the Myers mask on, man.
Have it on.
Have it on, man.
Absolutely. I mean, if they allow it, absolutely.
Have it on. That's right. And just stare at people, like make people feel uncomfortable and shit. That's what I would do. All right. Well, listen, that is going to do it for Tony, Michael, and I here on episode 127 of, it says 26 up there, but I'm pretty sure it's 27, if I'm not mistaken. Is it 27? Yeah, I think it's 127. It said 26 on the other screen. Of Two Dudes That's Bullshit. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you to our great moderators, Frank Riker, Tabitha Short, Darren Sands, Chris Baber. You guys are amazing. Thank you to all the Super Chat questions. Sorry we didn't get to some of the non-Super Chat questions. It was a busy night. No surprise, being Halloween. We had over 300 people in here tonight. You guys are awesome. I'm seeing Halloween Kills tomorrow night with Bruce Dale. So look out for social media. No spoilers, but look for social media tomorrow. We may go live from Dundas Square tomorrow in downtown Toronto, tomorrow evening, 5, 6, something like that. Who knows? Just be on the lookout and whatnot. We may do that. Tony, any last things you want to say?
No, I can't believe we're finally here. It's been a long wait, obviously, 3 years since we've seen Michael back on the big screen, and it's exciting. It's always exciting. I hope we can all come back. Like I said, it doesn't need to be the best Halloween film, but I'll be excited for when we do the show next week, which is going to be Halloween 4, spoiler. That I hope that we're sitting here going, man, that was fun. It doesn't need to be the best, but like, we're just like, that was fun.
Yes.
That's all I want.
Exactly. I get it.
It's not a tall order. It's not a tall expectation.
Yep.
It was good. It's fun.
I get it.
Like
I'm with you.
Like Clark, to quote the great Clark Griswold from Christmas Vacation, sipping on the nog. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good.
It's good. It's good. Yeah, I could not agree more. That's the best analogy. We have to end the show with that. That's awesome. All right, folks. Good night. We'll see you next week. Cheers. Well, we'll see you next week on this show. I mean, you'll see me before that, but you know what I mean. Hey, cheers.